It's alive! It's alive!
Holy shit!
Alright.
Alright.
We're going to begin in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Baka... Nope, we're not beginning there. We're going to begin in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Baka Gaijin Show. New and improved, back from the dead, now in podcast format with other people. Scary. To my right is my innumerable co-host, Kevin Faulkner.
First time in the show and you fuck it up.
They won't know that. If you listen to the MP3, they won't know that. To my left, longtime partner in crime, Kyuubeythe3rd.
What's up, people? This is your old pal, Kyuubeythe3rd.
And sitting in front of me, in the mystical, ever-rotating fourth chair, is RogerSmith2004.
I'm back in rotation.
Yep. You just never stop rotating.
Nope.
Just like Cowboy Bebop on
like a record.
Never stops rotating like Inuyasha reruns at 5 in the morning.
Only they don't do that anymore.
Sometimes I wish they did because I need something to fall asleep to. Oh, shots fired. So on this first episode, we're going to have very basic topics, just to basically inform you who we are and why the fuck you should listen to us. So we're going to talk about how we got into this crazy thing that now dominates our lives that we like to call anime. Who would like to go first?
Probably me, since I'm co-host.
Yeah. You got the most interesting story, apparently.
Yeah.
Much like in chess, the white guy goes first.
Oh.
Low, Zeke.
It's okay.
Zeke.
Anyway.
Well, there's no such thing as four-way chess, so, you know, I mean, there could be.
Unless you're in Star Trek.
Oh, you ever see those three-way chessboards, though? They're, like, circular.
Yeah, I have.
No, I haven't, actually.
Yeah, I want to get one of those and then find two friends.
It's like Chinese checkers, but better.
Okay, anyway, the story.
Anyway, I first got into anime back when I was, like, very young. One of the earliest memories I have of watching TV is actually watching the Trinity Broadcasting Network. I'm from a Christian family, so we watched TV
I know where
a
this is
lot.
going.
And the first anime I ever saw, I didn't know it was anime at the time, didn't realize it until over a decade later that the first anime I saw was Superbook, which was this old
I've heard about that. Superbook.
Yeah, it was this old Tatsunoko show about a kid, his female friend. I always imagined that they were dating. Even when I was little, I shipped them.
One of those platonic girlfriend, not girlfriend situations.
Yeah, I am shipping trash.
That's okay. It's the best kind of trash.
Yeah. Speaking of trash, they also went with their little toy robot, Gizmo, and they would be transported into different biblical situations through a magical time Bible.
Ooh.
It was the trippiest fucking thing.
So what you're saying is it was the Magic Treehouse.
Yes, actually. Very much so.
Did you know there was a Magic Treehouse anime movie?
Oh, really?
Yeah, in 2011 there was one. I forget who did it, but I'll look it up. But yeah, there was actually a Magic Treehouse movie that adapted like the first 4 books or something. Because apparently that book series is really popular in Japan.
Yeah, around the same time as Superbook, they also aired reruns of this other series called The Flying House. Superbook was sort of fantasy-oriented, whereas Flying House was more science fiction. And I watched both and loved both. I still occasionally think back, yeah, those were good times. They're still perfectly watchable shows.
I'll have to remember to check those out. I do know, like, as far as religious anime is concerned, I know, like, I guess, like, Tezuka kind of did some religious anime for a time.
Tezuka did this anime that was, like, based on the Old Testament or something.
Yeah, based on various parts of the Old Testament. Didn't that air on TVN, too? Because I think I saw that, too.
I don't recall. But after I watched Superbook for a few years, 1999 came along, I got really into Digimon.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
I actually didn't get into Pokemon until like 2002, 2003.
You were one of those kids, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my generation was my first Pokemon game was Pokemon Gold, and the first episodes I saw were the original first season back in like 4th grade.
The season with an actual vision and plot.
Yeah, some kid actually had the entire first season on VHS, and for like an hour at the end of every day, we would watch whatever tapes he brought in, and it was awesome.
Oh man, that sounds amazing. Actually.
Yeah, I actually used to be in.
You know what's the biggest Pokemon fan?
What?
Oh, I said I wasn't really the biggest Pokemon fan, but yeah, I bet that sounded like a ton of fun.
Oh, I sure as hell was.
I mean, wasn't that a little ahead of your what's the word? Past your time though, because you would have been like almost high school when that was around, wouldn't you?
No, I would have been. What year did that come out? That was like 1999.
When it exploded, yeah, 99, 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I got. Yeah, but that would have been. So that would have been for you. Like, when did Pokemon Gold come out? That would have been.
2000.
Gold was 2000.
Okay, so so I would have been 6th grade by then.
Yeah.
I would have been 6.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the story. From 2000 to about 2005, I kept mostly to the stuff that was on TV, and a good chunk of it was 4Kids stuff, like the 4Kids dub of One Piece, the 4Kids dub of Tokyo Mew Mew. It wasn't until about 2006.
Not a fan.
Yeah, it wasn't until about 2006 when I moved to Arizona and actually got a high-speed internet connection that I started surfing YouTube and finding uncut episodes of all these different anime that all these different animes that I've watched censored on broadcast television.
Right.
And I think the big turning point to me just being a giant anime junkie was probably around 2008.
Some weird echoing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you speak up a bit? There's some weird echoing going on.
Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, hold on. It's probably because I'm next to my fucking wall. Okay.
Yeah, that might do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That better? All right.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay.
All right. Take 2.
You.
The big turning point for me was probably around 2007, 2008, when I saw Lucky Star and Haruhi Suzumiya in quick succession.
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw Lucky
I like
Star.
one of those things.
Yeah, I saw Lucky Star, loved it, and wanted to know what all those different references were. So I actually specifically started to seek out the different shows that were referenced in Lucky Star, and the first one I saw was Haruhi Suzumiya, and I'm like, that's it, I'm done, this is me. Anime's my life now.
I'm good now. Yeah.
Yeah, that was basically. I got into Haruhi first, and then Lucky Star a little bit later.
I got into Lucky Star, but I never really got into Haruhi. Not my thing.
It's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. Most people are into Haruhi, but not into Lucky Star. It's kind of the other way around.
Yeah, well, sometimes I'm a trailblazer. I do what I want.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man.
Yeah. I'm the niche guy. I know things like there was a Magic Treehouse anime.
You're gonna rub this in our faces right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my story. Who's next?
Either one of you, Roger or Kyuubeythe can go.
I'll go last. Roger, you go.
Wait, what?
Roger, you go last.
Oh, wait.
You go first. You go first.
Yeah,
Roger.
Tell us how you got into anime.
Alright, so... Well, do you want to know when I started watching it not knowing it was anime, or watching it when I knew it was anime?
Just your first exposure, and then, like, your revelation, like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing since pizza.
Well, let's see.
I don't know about that, Zeke. Pizza's pretty great.
Well, you know, yeah.
I don't think top pizza. Not even anime can top that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking about the greatest marvels of our time, it's like pizza, internet. I don't know.
Level.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what's your story?
So like 1999, I started watching Pokemon Kids WB. I watched a lot of that. And I was very big into Pokemon. I could name all 151. Now I can only name like 98.
Yeah. Could you sing the Pokemon rap backwards? I know a kid who could do that.
I never sang it forward. But then you know, I just watched things on Kids WB. That was what I knew. But in around, I believe it was summer of 2002, there was this commercial for Burger King, and I loved me some Burger King back in the day.
Oh yeah, who did?
Yeah, right.
But
I was more of a McDonald's kid.
Which one had the Neopets? That was the one I went to.
I think
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I remember them having the Dragon Ball Z toys. I think that was Burger King.
I wonder what kid actually went to McDonald's. I wonder what kid actually went to McDonald's so much that he actually got all the Neopets.
I actually have. I actually do. Dragon Ball Z Burger King toys from around that time. It was the Krillin toy, so.
I think I still have mine somewhere, or maybe they all fell apart sometime. I don't know.
Well, I'd just go to the guy and just ask for the toy.
I'm gonna eat anything. Can I have a toy now?
Oh no, like if it was like a toy you had already gotten, you just asked for a different one.
Yeah.
I never
did that. I never knew that was an option. Now I regret my entire childhood.
But yeah, it was Burger King. Summer of 2002. And I saw the commercial, Hamtaro. And I thought Hamtaro was like the cutest thing ever. I loved it.
Oh my god, Hamtaro was the shit when I was a kid.
So what I did was I went to Burger King and I got those toys. I still have the Bijou one. I don't have any of the other ones. And I went through a huge Hamtaro phase. I'd get the VHS tapes, watch it on Cartoon Network, get the plushies. I still have some of the plushies too.
Wow, that manga's still running.
The manga's still running for real?
Yeah, Hamtaro, yeah.
I
Little hamsters, big adventures.
I actually kind of find it funny that the creator of something as cute as Hamtaro is actually called Ritsuko Kawaii.
Oh yeah.
Kawaii, what did he do?
That is the most self-fulfilling thing ever. You make something adorable, and your last name is Kawaii.
Well, no, because her name is Kawaii, not Kawaii. So she's actually pretty scary, I guess.
Yeah.
No, that's
yeah.
Kawaii. That's Kawaii.
Okay, I get it now. I get
it. God, you're slow.
So yeah, I was big into Hamtaro. By the time the year 2004 came around, I started branching out with what I saw on Cartoon Network. So I watched like other stuff too, and I watched whatever was on there. I didn't really watch Toonami at the time because when I started watching Cartoon Network, yeah, it was on weekdays, and what did we have? Crap like SD Gundam and Hot Wheels. I didn't want to watch that.
I remember when I first talked about Gundam with Anubis, I was ashamed because the only one I'd finished was SD Gundam.
But yeah, I didn't want to watch that.
My mom sheltered me so much. The only reason I watched Pokemon or Dragon Ball Z is because some kid kept bringing the tapes to school.
We can't expose him to that Jap culture.
No, my mom thought that everything.
It was too safe.
I'm not kidding. My mom thought that Mega Man NT Warrior had witchcraft in it.
Oh God!
Cyber witchcraft. The best.
I'm not kidding. I actually had to stop my mom and say. I actually had to stop my mom and say, Mom, have you even seen an episode of Mega Man? Well, no, I haven't. Well, sit down and watch one with me. I'll show you. It's just computers and stuff.
I'll show you. Okay. It's stupid, but it's not satanic.
And it's like, and my mom was like, okay, but I still think you're wrong. And then we watched it, and my mom, I could see this look on my mom's face of, oh God, Kevin was right.
But I won't let him know that. But
actually, my mom had this weird squinty look on her face. Just, so this really is just computers. Like, yeah, Mom. Been telling you this for about, what, 6 months now?
I remember that. Yeah, I remember when that first came out one time.
I actually remember that old Mega Man U Jack in and win sweepstakes. I actually won something from that fucking thing.
Oh, I remember that.
I actually won a Mega Man action figure from that. His leg is broken off, but I still have it. His leg's broken off, but I still have him.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, they had crap on, so I didn't watch till it came to Saturdays, with Megas and Duel Masters, Rave Master.
Yeah, Rave Master.
Yeah, that was.
I like how everyone riffed on that anime. I actually remember kind of liking it for a bit.
I know fans of the manga. I know fans of the manga hate it because it's like such a different adaptation, but.
I just know a lot of people kept hating on Rave Master for like some reason. Like even the manga too. It's like, oh, I read Rave Master. That means I'm book plebe and all that shit.
It was better. It's better than Fairy Tail.
I think it's because the title makes people think it's about the world's greatest DJ.
not like the theme. Not like the theme song helps. Once upon a time on a island.
Welcome to the tale of a land conquered by evil people in despair and living frightened to their bones. However, when the gang set out to find the answers, but together we will find a way to beat the shadows.
Okay, we get the point, bro. We get the point.
Yeah, no, I was a big fan of that.
Fantastic.
I was a big fan of that back in the day.
I still remember
the theme.
I was singing that with my sister yesterday because she's watching Fairy Tail. His dog is in both shows.
Yeah,
and then I showed her the opening, and it just blew her mind that someone could make two things.
Wow.
Wait, you tweeted that?
Kind of like showing a fan of Dragon.
I did tweet that.
It's kind of like showing a fan of Dragon Ball Dr. Slump, and they're like,
what? That explains all that pointless Penguin Village nonsense in the first show, then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that Penguin Village stuff makes no sense if you haven't read Dr. Slump.
Yeah.
Or at least if you hadn't heard of it before.
I wasn't big into Toonami, though, until 2005, when the 4Kids dub of One Piece came out. And I was a huge fan of that until around the summer.
Guilty.
When, yeah, sure, why not? I used to defend that I used to go on the 4Kids forums. That was my first forum.
You defended it like, lollipops are better than cigarettes. What are you talking about?
You know.
Yeah.
I think the mods at 4Kids banned anybody talking about the Japanese versions of the shows.
Well, yeah, because they didn't want you to know something better existed.
No.
I guess I shouldn't be that surprised thinking about it.
No, because the 4Kids forums, they didn't have to do that. The 4Kids forums, when you posted on there, you needed to wait for a moderator to approve it.
Oh, I hate those boards.
Yeah.
Those kinds of boards.
Hell, like one of the antique radio boards did that shit to me too.
What is this fucking Big Brother shit going on here?
I didn't even know forums until I started going on GameSpot didn't do that. I thought all of them did that back then because that was my first forum.
Man, you were misdirected all over the place.
Well, no, because in 2000... Wait, what?
Well, I was about to say, luckily in my first forum ever, the DBZOA forums, they didn't moderate at all. That was pretty...
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, no, but I actually figured out about the edits pretty quickly. because around the summer of '05, I visited because I was a big when I'm a fan of something, I like look up everything, like every single irritating tidbit.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked up One Piece, and then I found a site called arlongpark.com. And
yes,
it had...
Arlong Park forums.
No. Because there were two sites. There were two sites. There's arlongpark.com and arlongpark.net. They were two separate things back then.
What about Bad Rap? Did you ever go on there?
What about arlongpark.co.au? How is that?
What about Bad?
It's the same thing, but they ban all the A cups.
Oh, fuck that.
Anyway.
But no, I checked out that site and I found out about all the crazy edits. But the funny thing was they had this one section of the site where they did name pronunciations, and but they were wrong. Like, they weren't even right.
Oh,
like,
I love that.
Like, they said they pronounced Luffy as Luffy.
Luffy. I was guilty of that at one point.
I love when people try to be helpful and they end up being wrong. Like some of that like incorrect Spanish on Dora the Explorer.
I think they were watching the Odex dub.
Yeah. No, and whenever I told people I liked the show, I pointed out like a picture, and then they tried reading the logo and they're like, Netpeck?
Oh my god. Fun story about that? That actually happened to Oda himself. Like, somebody actually...
Yeah, the SBS, right?
Yeah, in the SBS, somebody actually sent in, like, I think it was, like, volume 2 or 3. Someone was like, I love your series, Nep Essay.
Essay? What?
But yeah,
someone mispronounces your name at the airport.
But I also got into other stuff at the time. When Cartoon Network aired DBZ Uncut, I taped that every day. Mm-hmm. And when Naruto came out, I was a pretty big Narutard for a while. Like, my username on the 4Kids forums was Naruto59788. Why 59788? Because Naruto, like the Naruto, the year I was born, all those were, like, taken already, so I just did a random array of numbers.
That is brilliant, glorious, even.
Oh, I was, like, 8 years old when I...
You were a creative child, you know?
Yeah.
How dare we restrain you?
But, so, it wasn't, though, I didn't become really big into it. Like, I knew everything on Cartoon Network. You could ask me something that aired at 5 a.m. in the morning, death-slotted, and I'd know what you're talking about, but... Yeah. I didn't start branching out till 2006. When I first found YouTube, it was like late 05, early 06. And I started...
Classic, like, 144p blurry videos.
Oh, those were awesome. I loved them.
Yeah, those were fun times.
First thing y'all had to do was edit lightsaber fights together. Like when they used to really suck. Before Ryan versus Dorkman, I mean.
Yeah.
What about when Star Wars Kid?
Oh yeah.
Everybody remembers Star Wars Kid.
Dude, throughout the years, I've had like 5 different YouTube accounts, and I swear I can only find like one of them, and it's filled with old AMVs I used to make that have somehow got millions of views by now. I don't know if you remember I tweeted that.
Oh yeah, I did that. I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, some of my old Ben 10 AMVs ended up getting millions of views while I was gone.
I wasn't allowed to have a YouTube.
Hey, you're famous, and for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, let's try to correct that.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to have a YouTube, so I had to keep deleting my accounts. Like, my first account was like Linkin Park 247. And
you were just the model child, really.
No, because I really got when YouTube started to hit off, I really got into AMVs. So every time 500 different people would make the same exact AMV. Naruto versus Sasuke AMV, in the end, Linkin Park. And it
I remember that shit!
Luckily, I never did a Linkin Park AMV ever.
I wasn't.
Oh, you don't know what you're missing out on, man. That's like a rite of passage.
I was not so lucky.
I did like Nickelback, though.
I did do
Lava,
a
you
Linkin Park
divide.
song though. My most popular of my Ben 10 AMVs was "Numb" by Linkin Park. So that's
Oh,
something.
but so I found this one AMV of this song from one of my favorite shows back then, Bobobo. And yeah, and it had these huge bunch of shows. So I started looking these things up, and I started getting into them. But unfortunately, I had very kind of strict parents, and I was like still like 9 years old. So it was hard being able to watch them. Like I was able to sneak tape some Adult Swim stuff, but it was kind of difficult for me. So I tried looking these shows up on YouTube. So one of like Chobits, Azumanga Daioh, Full Metal Alchemist, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But those kinds of shows, I always never made it past the second episode because YouTube would take them down, like right in the middle of when I was watching them.
They were active. They were active even then.
Yeah, it was especially annoying when it'd be like insert show here, episode 1, part 1, and then I can't find
part 1
part
out
two.
of 8. I love those.
1 out of 8. Oh man.
And I can't find the other parts. Or like it's like part 1 out of 8, and then 5 out of 8 is missing, but all the other ones are there.
That was me when I was looking for like old Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes.
And that was back before people learned the trick of like mirroring the video, which I don't think works anymore, but that's a trick people used for a while.
Yeah.
Or now they put some sort of stupid border on it or something now.
Yeah.
Or like they make it so dark you need to turn the brightness all the way up to be able to see a damn thing.
Yeah, they turn like the volume down too. Or they like play it slightly pitched faster.
Oh. But
I'm like, you're not Nightcore, guys. Shut up.
Nightcore! Anyway.
But after Toonami
We're gonna make Linkin
ended,
Park sound like teenage girls.
after Toonami ended, I wasn't as big into anime as I was into manga. I really collected like a lot of Shonen Jump. I'd go to like my library, read
I
like
was
Dr.
the same way for a while.
Yeah, read a lot of Dr. Slump. That's actually where I found out about it, through Shonen Jump. And I read a lot of that, but after Toonami ended, I kind of just like stopped doing it altogether. Then when Toonami came back, I actually completely ignored it. Like I didn't do anything about it. So it wasn't until I found Full Metal Alchemist on Netflix, and I'm like, what the hell? This was like summer 2013. I was like, what the hell? I'll watch it, and I like watched the whole thing in like a few weeks. And after that, I started getting back into anime. I recorded Toonami every week. By the end of the end of summer of last year, that's when I started getting to subbed anime, because I was on Toonami United. I never really got into seasonals. Then I started watching like every season, like Magic Kaito. That was my first seasonal show back in fall.
Oh, that was the first seasonal show I dropped.
Oh, what the hell? Oh wait, yeah, but you dropped it after like the first episode.
I couldn't take the noses.
Nah,
that sounds super shallow of me, but it's like it just looked ugly to me.
Nah, like the first few episodes are admittedly rough. Like it uses a lot of cheap humor, but like the middle parts are so damn good. Like
the humor wasn't the problem. I actually liked what was the protagonist's name again? I forget.
Kaito.
Oh, I thought that was like his alter ego's name. I thought his name was something different.
No, yeah, Kaito, and then his disguise is Kaito.
Oh,
no.
How did no one ever figure this guy out? He's fucking Clark Kenting up in here.
Oh, they actually did an episode on that in the show.
Oh, where he worked at a newspaper?
No. Where Aoko's father found sort of made the connection that Kaito must be Kaito Kid, but they actually found a way around that too in the episode.
What was it, like different kanji readings or something?
No. See, Kaito, he has all these tricks up his sleeve, right?
Yeah.
So he can like pull out like all these.
I think that's what the Netflix description says, actually.
Oh, I don't think it's on Netflix.
That was a joke.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Joke fail.
sorry, that went over my head. But
Where's the joke?
yeah, you can pull all
It's
these
just the joke
tricks
is
up
that
his
Netflix
sleeve.
always has those jokey descriptions.
For Chop Kick Panda?
You know, for things.
Alright. Well, I'm just saying, so he has all these tricks up his sleeve, and one of them is being able to, like, disguise himself via masks. So, what the inspector tried to do was make, like, sort of think, oh, I know who you are, blah, blah, blah. But the whole mask trick completely threw him off because he has a very big soft spot for his own daughter.
Uh-huh.
So what Kaito Kid did was disguise himself as his daughter, and then take off the mask. So this led the detective or inspector to make the connection. Okay, so he could just be using a mask. We don't really know his identity. He could just be constantly disguising himself as one person or another.
Right.
So that's sort of how he made that connection.
Yeah, I think my first seasonal show was actually the second season of Haruhi Suzumiya, meaning I am one of those poor bastards who saw Endless 8 as it aired.
Oh God, that wasn't me, thankfully, but yeah.
2 months! 2 months of the same shit!
And yeah. It's so treacherous. Endless 8 has, like, people have written, like, survival guides for Endless 8.
I thought
Episodes 1, 2, and 8. There, you're done.
It's the only anime I know that requires a walkthrough.
Yes.
But yeah, I have nothing more to say.
But
Right.
yeah, you don't know true suffering unless you were one of the Endless 8 survivors.
Well, I've heard it said that you sit through the whole thing once and then never do it again. That's what I've heard.
I voluntarily sat through Endless 8 twice. Once during the original broadcast and once during a rewatch session.
Right.
Oh, you're a trooper, buddy.
Yeah, well, I got into anime mostly through 4Kids stuff as well. Mostly Yu-Gi-Oh! I watched a bit of Pokemon, but I was more into the games than the show. I was into things like Yu-Gi-Oh! And then later on things that aired on Jetix, like Shaman King and some other show that aired on Jetix. I forget what it was.
Beyblade?
What?
Beyblade?
Yeah, I was in the Beyblade, actually. I was kind of into Digimon, but only up till... I actually stopped watching Digimon before Tamers, so I feel that was a mistake. I only ever saw
was so fucking good.
That's what I heard way later. I didn't hear that at the time.
Even when you're an adult, Tamers is awesome.
Yeah, I only ever watched the first two. With the dark rings and the dark gears and the dark spirals.
Yeah, to be fair, Adventure 02 is kind of shit.
I liked it better than the first one, actually, but that was me. That was like 8-year-old me, so I don't know.
Hey, nice friends you got there, Davis.
So yeah, things like that. But at the time, I never really I was young. I never really made that much of a distinction between the two. You know, there was just stuff like I never really made a whole lot of distinction, even between like cartoons and live action or anything, or movies or something. It was just stuff that I watched because I guess I was just kind of an open-minded kid. I just watched whatever. So for me, it was never really getting into anime so much as focusing on it, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just kind of naturally kind of progressed from there, where every now and again on the internet I just see something, I'm like, huh, that looks cool, and then I go watch that. Usually through fan subs or some sort of torrent site or whatever, and then I would always I didn't get into Toonami until like the Bobobo, the Mare, sort like that kind of 2007 era with Bobobo and Mare and all that.
Wait, before or after Tom 4?
A little before Tom 4 and then during Tom 4.
So yeah, you'd be
That
right.
was about-
2000.
Tom 4 was the guy who was like, and this is the Wii controller. They're kind of like your controllers.
Yeah, that was his.
That was Thomas the Tank Engine right there.
I love that name so much. So yeah.
Tom asked the Toonami engine.
Yeah, I watched things like DBZ Uncut and Naruto, and then at the time I was really into Mare, so I was upset when they switched. They kept changing the time slots on us, and they kept not airing episodes out of order, and then they relegated it to Jetstream, and then Viz cut the dub in half, and that pissed me off. So what I did is the subs weren't completely out yet for the second half of that show, so I actually became a QCer for the group that was subbing it at the time, which was a much different landscape because everyone's internet sucked, and it took like 4 days to torrent anything.
Oh yeah, those were the days.
Yeah, I was a quality checker for, what was it called? I think it was Static Subs, I think.
Oh, I remember those guys.
Yeah, they did Mare, and they did Hayate the Combat Butler and other stuff like that.
Oh,
which I never got into the Hayate the Combat Butler anime. I always read the manga.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it fully, but I do like the characters and the recaps.
Yeah, it was okay as comedies go. Yeah, so for me it was never really getting in. It was just a natural progression of things, and then past that point it escalated further where once again I just see things on the internet and go watch them. But I made more of a regular, as of I want to say 2010, maybe a little before that, I made more of a regular habit out of it, where it's like, okay, I'm done with one anime, time to immediately find the next thing, you know? So it's like, oh, I'm done with Code Geass. I'm done with Code Geass. I guess I'll watch, I don't know, Death Note or something. So I just kept kind of going like that for a while, and I was a big marathon guy for the longest time. I got into subs early again because I think when I was on that QC team, I was probably like, how old was I in 2008? Like 14?
Yeah, 14. Yeah, I was about that. Yeah,
I was probably like 14, so I got into subs earlier than I think some people do. Some people, it's like, some people just have a real weird aversion to subs. Like my brother just does not watch subtitled stuff.
Yeah, I got into it way earlier, I think.
Yeah, and at first I always found that really annoying, but now I watch more subs than I do dubs just out of convenience.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Honestly, I'm very neutral when it comes to the whole sub or dub thing, because I'm like, why are you people fighting over it?
Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, I was never one to fight over it. It was just it's one of those things where if a show has a good dub, I'll watch it because I think in a way that does enhance the experience for me. I think.
Yeah, because you're able to focus more on the visuals than you are on the subtitles.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Maybe it's just because I watch pretty shows, because I've started trying to watch K again. It's like the third time I've tried to watch K, and I just got to the point where I stopped last time. And I'm like, wow, this show's fucking beautiful. And then I remember, oh, it's Studio Gohan's. Of course it's beautiful. But I guess because it's dubbed, I can really focus on that.
Yeah.
Not staring at the bottom 15% of the screen. Although I'm a fast reader, so that's never really been a problem for me. Like, I can just glance at text and be like, I understand everything that says.
Yeah, as long as I can see what's going on at the bottom and I can see at the top, yeah, I can pretty much understand what the hell's going on.
Yeah, like I know, like some people complain about subs because they're like slow readers or whatever. It's like, oh, I gotta keep pausing the video. I'm like, if you're a slow reader, I feel for you, but you know, it's just how it is.
Yeah. You just gotta really pay attention. You just gotta you gotta have your full undivided attention when it comes to subs.
Yeah. That's what I tell Neoni sometimes, because I'm just like, sometimes I watch dubs because I want to not focus so much. I guess I want to be unfocused a little.
I don't always focus when I read subs.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have like notepad to the side.
Sometimes I take notes because there's going to be a test. Like in school when they show you movies and it's like, okay, we're watching a movie, but you gotta take notes. Gotta answer questions. Oh man, it really bummed me out. Well, I mean, I guess I'm like, okay, fair enough. I was one of those rational kids. I'm like, okay, fair enough trade-off, I guess. Unless they were like really annoying questions or whatever, but you know.
Yeah. What happened with the guy?
I wasn't really into simulcasting until Hunter x Hunter 2011 started. And I think that's true for a lot of people. It's like, oh, there's this Crunchyroll thing, and they have the Animu. Oh.
They have the...
yeah, this is convenient, sort of. So that's when I started doing that, was when Hunter x Hunter 2011 started. And then at first I only watched like a handful of stuff each season, and then it just kept growing and growing and growing. Like, if you recall, one of the first videos I uploaded to this channel was my summer 2012 or something impressions. There's only like 6 shows there.
It was actually Nautica impressions, if I remember correctly.
What?
It was actually your first ever video, if I remember correctly, was actually your Nautica video.
I didn't say first. I said one of the earlier ones.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think it was like summer 2012 or something. There's only like 6 shows there. I'm like, 6 shows? That's like a slow day for me now.
Yeah, no lie, with Hunter x Hunter, the only reason I watched it was because the first 100 episodes got uploaded to Netflix.
Right.
At that point, I was just like...
They still don't have everything there.
Yeah, but at that point, I was just like, well, fuck. Now I have no reason to keep postponing this. So I just knuckled down, watched the first episode, and I'm like, this show's fucking
because I got into Hunter x Hunter through the manga in 2005 when I was like 11. So it's been with me for a while, and by the time the 2011 show aired, I had seen the 99 anime and the OVAs like 12 times. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I think 8 times subbed, 4 times dubbed, I think.
Wait, it was actually dubbed?
The OVAs weren't, but the 99 anime was.
From Viz.
Yeah, they only had like...
exported to the Ocean Group, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not bad. That dub's not...
Good dub.
I don't think it's bad. I just think it takes getting used to. Which admittedly is an excuse, but...
I am never going to get used to Gon's voice in that. He sounds terrible.
Oh yeah, he sounds like an office woman.
Hey, guys, if you want to leave some flames, just go to my Twitter account.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think some of them are really good.
Deposit all hate here.
I thought Jonathan Love as Leorio was probably the best fit.
I agree there.
Yeah. I think Hisoko's dub voice was really good. I think it was just the main 3. I think it was just actually Killua was fine too. I don't know. I think I've watched it so many times I've just gotten so used to it where I'm like, no, it might just be Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the amount of seasonal stuff I've been watching has just increased exponentially from there, and now I don't marathon stuff as much anymore, but I'm trying.
Oh,
so that's pretty much my story.
All right. Well, I guess my story is a little generic because I come from like basically
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
The playground is where I spent most of my anime watching.
Okay, all right. Okay. Me time. Just 3 o'clock right here. Okay. All right. Let's go. Okay, so I started getting into anime like full time like around 1999 or 2000.
Full time, 40 hours a week.
Let me talk. No interruptions this time.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So I got into so the first anime I like really got into was of course Sailor Moon, because I just thought I was just like, wow, this show is amazing. This is fun and I really like it, and then I basically went from there, and then the show that I really got sucked into was Dragon Ball Z. After I bumped into a kid like while I was on a Florida trip back in 1999, I think. And so yeah, and he let me borrow like one of his manga because we were in the same hotel complex. So started chatting up with him, and then like I somehow went into his room, and then it was like, oh, cool comics. What is that? Oh, it's called Dragon Ball Z. It's so cool. I started reading it, and I got so sucked in. And then like I first caught Dragon Ball Z when it was like on the Midnight Run and all that stuff. If y'all remember that. Yeah. So I caught Dragon Ball Z on Midnight Run, like while I couldn't sleep, and then I like watched it, and then I got like really sucked in. Then I figured out it aired at 5 p.m. Then got like super heavy into it, and And then, I discovered this thing on my public access channel, DATV, that's Dayton Public Access. There was this thing called Anime in Dayton, where it was where they broadcasted old anime, like from old VHS fan subs. And that was from when I basically got exposed to stuff like Kodocha and stuff and Sojo stuff like the Glass Mask and all that stuff. And I remember really getting into them back then. And of course, had my run with Toonami and all that stuff. I'm not really going to bore you with all the generic shit, but of course with Gundam Wing and not Sailor Moon, but just all the generic essential Toonami stuff that I don't really need to mention at this point because it's pretty much been talked about to death. So I pretty much got into fan subs once I got like a really really good high-speed connection, or Roadrunner as it's known here, back in 2004, and that's when I started like watching a shit ton of Inuyasha and Naruto. When I figured out it just wasn't my thing, wasn't my particular jam, and then basically got into Inuyasha before I got into like all the episodes of Inuyasha before Adult Swim got all of them, and or just say Adult Swim and Viz. Tired of waiting.
Yeah.
I guess like when I started to kind of figure out that I kind of had a little bit of a moe side, I guess you could say, or a bit of the moe/lolicon side of me, I guess, is when I figured out that there was a show called Azumanga Daioh, and where this basically goes from there. It's like, oh, this show is really fun. It's really cute. It's really funny. It's kind of quirky.
My waifu.
Yes, basically, yeah. I didn't really get into, what? The show that made me realize I was kind of like into the whole waifu thing was actually, here's the thing. I'm not really like into the waifu thing, like as in a faux serious kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
I joke about that.
Yeah, me too. I joke about it too. But it's like, yeah. My first waifu ever was actually Naru from Love Hina. Yeah, I know, folks. I'm trash. Go ahead, throw all your used food at me or whatever, and while booing at me for some reason. But
you like getting abused, you bastard.
What?
You like getting abused, don't you?
Maybe. Yeah, I guess I'm an M, I guess.
Oh, hit me harder.
Anyway, okay. Then after that, got into Higurashi, and that was like the last one I got into for like a while. And then like 2008, 2009 was kind of a dry spell for me as far as anime is concerned. And then I really got back into anime again was when I saw Angel Beats. I remember like seeing YouTube poops of it on YouTube and all that stuff. It was mainly of Huey doing the yin yang thing and all that stuff.
Back when
what?
Anything. Back when people made YouTube poops of anything.
Yeah. And then, like everyone made like Huey Yan for 10 minutes.
Anything.
And that's when I got really back into anime full time, and then I started discovering Crunchyroll, and I discovered one of my favorite series of this decade, Mitsudo Moe, which I think is super hilarious, and I think it's an absolute crime that no one has even taken a crack at as far as licensing it.
Yeah,
I've never even heard of it.
Mitsudo Moe.
It's just the way he said it was weird.
Yeah, Mitsudo Moe. Mitsudo Moe.
Yeah, I've heard of that, yeah.
Good ass shit, and of course Squid Girl, and then of course you guys all know basically Madoka, and then long story short, and that's how. And of course I got into Kodomo no G-Con for a little bit back in 2007, back when that was the hot button show at the time. Taboo. You ought to be arrested for watching this.
It was so scandalous.
Despicable.
Scandalous. Oh. Oh, so
Yeah.
scandalous.
Yeah, I was into Kodomo no Jikon during my late high school years. I actually fucking read the manga on the school computers.
Seriously, wow.
Whoa. Yeah.
Give me a high five. That is the dude you have balls award. High five right here.
I'm not kidding. I did read the Kodomo no Jikon manga on the school computers.
Damn.
No
All
one
I did was
fucking
play some
cared.
beanies.
No one fucking cared. It's like half of the entire school read manga on the school computers, and they just looked at it as like, oh, it's just another manga. Move along, move along.
Okay, all right. And lastly, long story short, this is basically, and now you basically know why I'm the trash otaku lolicon anime fan you know me as today. So that's basically it.
Little
Question.
bit of an anecdote, just like little extra thing. I actually do
Side
remember
story, maybe.
some side stories. It's a little footnote to what I was talking earlier. My little story. It's a little footnote. I actually do remember. You were talking about Midnight Run and Adult Swim, and I actually just remembered. Oh yeah, there was actually a short period of time where I would actually get up in the middle of the night and watch Adult Swim, and I saw a couple episodes of Lupin the Third. And,
Oh yeah.
And I saw one episode of Witch Hunter Robin.
That's all you needed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
That's all
just like,
anyone
this
needs.
is so much better than the other shit I've been watching.
Oh, is he going somewhere? Oh well, I guess he's gone now.
He said his piece, now he's going home.
Yeah.
Nah, he'll be back. He'll be back.
At 5 in the morning, watch Inuyasha reruns, Code Lyoko, home movies.
Oh,
You know,
I missed
everything else.
Lyoko.
I do too, except it's on Netflix, I think, still.
No, they removed it. a while
Oh
back.
man, good thing me and my brother marathoned it before they took it down. Then.
Yeah. I think Code Lyoko was only on there for like 6 months and then they removed it.
Wow, good thing I got to it. Code Lyoko is actually like, I don't know if any of my regular subscribers read the stuff I write on Fiction Press, but Code Lyoko has always been like a huge influence in my writing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd imagine it would.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the shows where it's like whenever I had the chance to catch an episode, I would. I rarely ever got the chance.
What, for Code Lyoko?
Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah. I remember like when I was like in, what was it? Probably like
What were you
6th.
doing, by the way?
No.
Me?
Yeah, just a quickie, getting it out.
Hey, I kind of had to, do my business real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, I had to take a piss.
I never even knew there was a bathroom on that floor.
Yeah, you can say that.
It's kind of a bathroom. Some people just see it as a hole in the ground, but I've seen people's basements like that where they just have a hole in the ground they piss in. Yeah, I'm like, you're not even Chinese. Why are you doing this to yourself?
Well, no, I'm not getting into it.
Dude, they shouldn't have trough, okay? They're proud of it, It's just a fact.
Anyway, let's get back to anime here.
Right. Well, actually, we were talking about Code Lyoko, but, anime's good too.
It's not anime.
No, it's French anime.
It's French trash, okay? I'm kidding.
Oh, man. First the Canadians and now the French. Actually, that makes a lot of sense.
Little side note, I'm wondering. There's kind of an inside joke going on that I basically hate anything that Canada produces.
Because I've never heard you say anything good about any animation Canada has ever produced.
What about Reboot?
I didn't know that.
Reboot and Beast Wars Transformers are both Canadian.
Beast Wars does not hold up.
Mainframe.
Do you know that?
Yeah, Mainframe
Well,
isn't
the second season. The second season is okay. It's just the first season. Oh my god.
Yeah, like even the CG in fucking Code Lyoko still holds up.
It's so cheesy.
I mean, it's awkward, but it holds up.
Well, to be fair, Beast Wars is fucking 1993, same year as fucking
Yeah, I know.
Toy
I'm just
Story,
saying, graphic technology just goes really fast,
It does. It does.
For some reason, Reboot has aged really well.
Yeah, I'm sure Beast Wars was like cutting edge at the time, though.
Oh, it was. It was.
Yeah, Transformers tends to be like Prime is still probably the best looking CG thing on television ever.
Oh, I agree. I
Yeah,
love how
I mean, people are like, no, Star Wars, Clone Wars. Nah, Prime looks better than Clone Wars.
Well, if you watch the later episodes of Clone Wars, they do some really impressive stuff with that stuff. Like,
Yeah, I never saw that. Like, I think I stopped watching continuously around season 3 or 4, and then I only cut like random episodes from there on. So I got to go through it again at some point.
Yeah.
For something based in a time period that people hate, Clone Wars was actually surprisingly good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was always surprised at how good Clone Wars was, with the exception of the Bombad Jedi.
Bombad?
Bombad Jedi, the one where frickin' Jar Jar Binks pretends to be a Jedi.
Right.
That episode
wasn't enough that he's in politics. Now he has to be a Jedi.
That episode was so bad, the Toonami run actually skipped it. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Adult Swim actually mandated Toonami to skip that episode and that episode alone.
Himself was. I thought it was DeMarco.
I would love it if DeMarco actually gave that order himself.
Oh my gosh. I'm serious. They actually were given the order from Adult Swim to skip a couple of episodes, and the only episode they skipped was Bombad Jedi.
So it was really that bad.
It's terrible.
Yellow Feligates.
Anyway,
let's get back into it.
Yeah, we've talked about Jar Jar Binks for 30 seconds, and that's 30 seconds of our lives we're not getting back. So.
This is the Baka Gaijin Show, not the stupid Star Wars shit show.
Not the Jar Jar Binks show. That's not a show. No one's doing that.
He said Jar Jar wants to do Misa podcast.
I'm sure it was in the works at some point, but never got off the ground. Anyway, so our next topic, if we're done with this, our next topic is what we think makes good anime and what some of our favorite anime are. Unless anyone feels like taking a break.
That's actually a topic I've been meaning to talk about for a long time because it's actually a bit of a subject that's close to me because I hear so many people say it's like, this anime is so good, it's so awesome, it's so great, I love it, and
my dick's so erect.
And I ask them why they. That's funny. I ask them why they like it, and the only thing they say is, "Oh, I like the music," or "Oh, it looks nice."
Oh, I like the superficial element.
Every time I ask people, why they like a show, they always talk about the cosmetic elements, and I don't get that. It's like
I think it comes from like how we talk about other forms of media in like this sort of very shallow way. Like when you walk out of a movie theater, it's like, how'd you like the movie? I mean, it was good. I liked the it had Tom Cruise in it. You know, it's like I've actually made it a point to if somebody asks me why I like a show, I give them detailed examples of what makes the show tick. Yeah.
It's difficult for me.
What'd you like about it? Sit down, son. It's gonna be a while.
Yeah, something like that. I try to keep it short, but
I mean that might be part of it too. Actually, is that maybe like people ask what you think, but maybe they really don't care. So it's like they don't want to. They give short answers because. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, it's like, let's take my favorite anime of all time, Haruhi Suzumiya, for example.
Whoa!
What?
Nothing. I was just surprised.
What? I love that show. It's my favorite. It's the only show.
Didn't you tell me your favorite was Clannad, or was that someone else?
That's actually my second favorite.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Clannad was my favorite for a long time, but then I just kind of stopped and said, okay, let's look at my favorite anime list, like my top 5. Which one is the anime I can watch over and over and over and still enjoy?
Possibly
every
8 times.
Shut up.
What's the one anime where I would tolerate them doing the same episode 8 times?
Shut up. But yeah,
Endless 8 didn't exist.
It's the joke that keeps on giving and giving and giving.
Anyway, focus.
Alright.
Alright, well, like, let's take Haruhi Suzumiya, for example. Why do I like it? Probably the one big thing is that I like how it doesn't just keep itself to one specific genre. It dabbles in sci-fi, fantasy, drama. It actually has a 2-episode murder mystery, which is actually really fun. It dabbles in, like, probably the best thing about it is definitely the disappearance movie.
I heard that's supposed to be one of the longest animated movies ever. Apparently.
It is actually. It is the longest animated movie next to another anime movie, Yamato.
Whose dog is barking? No barking dogs.
Not me.
I forgot to lay down the ground rules, but no barking dogs is one of those ground rules.
No, that's outside.
Oh, it doesn't count if it's outside, does it?
Oh, I can't, like, mute outside.
Okay. No, you can. Here's what you do. Take your shotgun.
I was gonna suggest
this is New
styrofoam
York
padding on
City.
his walls.
This is New York City. We have gun regulation laws.
Oh, well then just grab a brick or something and throw it down at him, Home Alone style.
Bark, bark.
Dude took like 6 bricks to the face. Hardcore.
Anyway.
Okay, guys, let's get back to it.
But yeah, for me, what really I try to look for in an anime that I can really watch over and over, something that I really enjoy, is character development and interaction.
Yeah.
You gotta really make me believe that these are real people, or at the very least, believable characters, and that they're actually having these believable, realistic conversations. Yeah. And for a lot of Haruhi Suzumiya, I felt that they did that very well.
Yeah. There's always character-focused stories and plot-focused stories, and I think a lot of writers focus on plot-focused stories because that's just a lot easier, you know. I also think it's just more flashy, also, like, you know, like, because there's a huge chunk of audiences that just aren't interested in 2 people sitting on and talking, you know.
Well, it's possible to balance that with good action and visuals. An excellent example is actually one that you mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter does an excellent job at balancing believable character interactions with gripping drama and fantastic action sequences.
Yeah, this is a show that made an entire arc out of a committee election, so.
And did it well.
Yeah. And
yeah, that's really one of the big things I look for: characters and interactions. Because if I can't really get into the characters or interactions, I'm not really able to get myself fully implanted in the show. I'm not really able to enjoy it much. A good example of that is actually a lot of it. I'm going to say something that people are gonna fucking hate. I don't like Yoshiyuki Tomino's writing.
I don't think anyone does, unironically.
I think Yoshiyuki Tomino is a horrible, horrible writer. When he's left to his own devices, he's terrible. Good example of that is, what was it, Garzy's Wing?
Yeah.
Yeah, Garzy's Wing.
I must somehow make sense of our convoluted situation.
What's his name again? I forget.
You are so easygoing.
Yoshiyuki Tomino.
Yeah,
the guy who did most of the Gundam stuff.
Yeah, whenever someone says, "Oh, you got to see the original Gundam. You got to see Zeta. You got to see Turn A." Whenever I try to watch those shows, I can't get into them because the character dialogue is so disjointed and it doesn't feel natural at all.
That's not my problem with Tomino works. My problem is that he stretches out the Gundam series way too long. Like, if you look at the best Gundam series, like 0080, 8th MS Team, which weren't done by Tomy now, that one of them's 13 episodes, the other one's 6, and it manages to get it all done without it being so long. Yeah, it's a 6-episode OVA.
Yeah.
And it manages to do everything without being so bloody long. Like,
yeah,
there's just too much filler.
Yeah, and the one time Tomino actually did try to make a shorter Gundam show, Reconquista AG, it was a complete fucking train wreck.
Yes.
So, yeah, he's just a terrible writer.
Rotary phone.
What?
Rotary phone in the Reconquista AG.
I'm sorry, Reconquista was terrible.
Oh yeah.
I remember hearing good things when it first started.
No, I saw the
animation, I think.
Actually, I saw the first episode and I hated it. I saw the first episode and I'm like, what the fuck is this garbage? None of what the characters said sounded believable. It's like nothing gave the illusion of an actual conversation happening. It was totally disjointed. Like, they would switch between completely random subjects at the drop of a hat, and
oh, I love this. I was looking it up. I love this. Toshio Okada, co-founder and former president of Gainax, voiced some concerns regarding the show's comprehensibility.
It's completely incomprehensible. I don't understand it at all.
Ordinary people watch this and don't know what's happening. It's fine to make it for today's kids, but who does he think today's kids are? Who does he think the kids that watch Yokai Watch are?
I am 21 and I don't understand this goddamn thing.
Oh God.
It's not just kids, okay? Nobody understands this show. It's terrible.
You just don't get it.
I'm sure there's somebody out there who'd say that.
Well, in this case, you literally do not get it because it's hard to understand.
Yeah.
I saw the first episode twice and I didn't get it.
Calling me.
I saw the first episode, it's like, maybe I missed something on the first watch through. Nope, still didn't get it.
I need to look at this little deeper. Oh wait, it's even more broken now.
Exactly.
A load of fuck.
What a shitload of fuck, yes! Thank you, AVGN. You're my true savior.
Is it like... It feels... the way you're describing it, it sounds like one of those paintings of like waves, and someone's like, if you stare at it hard enough, it'll be two wolves howling at the moon. And then you just stare at it for hours and like, no, this is just fucking waves.
Yeah.
Yes, it's exactly like that. Oh my god, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm the analogy master.
That is the perfect analogy for Reconquista. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyway, but that's the big thing I look for is good character development and interactions, because I think that really forms the core. It forms the core of my top 5 favorite anime.
Speaking of Gundam, I just want to give a quick plug. Speaking of Gundam, like after this show, NTR Radio today is doing an episode on Sunrise.
Oh, really? Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. I'll check that one out.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm game.
Yep.
And they're also doing your show. They're also doing your favorite show, Zeke.
Well, what's that? What's that? Come on, tell me.
It's Love Live.
Oh yeah, amazing. Excuse me, like, I'm gonna mute my mic and then scream into something.
Anyway, my top 6 favorite anime. The big focus on those that I really like is what I just said. My top 5 are specifically Haruhi Suzumiya is number 1. Number 2 is Clannad. Number 3 is Gurren Lagann. Number 4 is Heartcatch Pretty Cure, which is the second most recent edition. Number 5 is Hunter x Hunter, the 2011 version. And number 6 is Dirty Pair.
Dirty bear or dirty pear?
Dirty Bear.
Oh. I heard bear.
Dirty Bear.
Dirty bear is dumb. Nobody watches Dirty Bear.
What's with Yuri Kuma?
You said Dirty Bear, and I imagined like We Bear Bears.
I'm sure people watched Yurikuma, but you know what they didn't do? Buy it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody can agree that was easily Ikuhara's not his best work.
That's what happens when your name is enough. When you think your name is enough to sell, and then it isn't.
It's like his best work is always going to be Utena, honestly.
Oh yeah, he's kind of it's kind of funny. I mean, I've always heard that Penguin Drum is really good, but I always kind of think Ikuhara is kind of a one-hit wonder when you really think about it at the end of the day.
Yeah, Penguin Drum was okay, but I felt that a lot of it was just him, just recycling everything that made Utena good. But
well, you're definitely not gonna like my favorites list then.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, floor is yours.
Alright, so what do I think makes an anime good, you say?
I did say that, actually, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for remembering.
Congratulations, you have a working brain.
Frontal lobe intact.
So, what I think it makes an anime good is, first of all, you have to have good characters. They don't necessarily need to be, at the very least, they should be a character you can sort of not necessarily like, but understand, and they need to have like a consistent personality that you can sort of define well. Like if you can tell a character doesn't stand out when you really can't say much about them. In general.
You mean like Sword Art Online?
No, it's like that. I always use that same test that Red Letter Media did. It's like talk about a character without describing their appearance or what their role is.
Yeah, it's kind of like you need to be able to describe who they are well enough, like bring up characteristics that are noticeable. Yeah. Like some of these characters, when I'm trying to think, who are these people, and then I go delve deeper into it, and there really isn't much there.
Yeah.
Cough, cough, Sword Art Online, cough.
Once again, you're looking for wolves, and all you see are waves.
No, I'm looking for wolves, and I find wolves.
That just applies to so many things.
But another thing, when you're having this world, it needs to have plausibility. And I don't mean that it needs to be like ours. The rules need to make sense within the context of their own world.
They need to be internally consistent.
Yeah.
Internal consistency is also a big thing for me, because if there is something in a show that directly contradicts something big from earlier, I'm not going to be able to take it seriously.
Well, without good reason. I mean, there's ways to do that.
Yeah, it's called a retcon. There are good retcons and there are bad retcons.
Oh yeah.
Like, let's take Gurren Lagann for example. That show is fucking ridiculous, but it does have internal consistency.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everything in Gurren Lagann makes sense within the confines of its own world.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But another thing I really, really like is high rewatchability. If I can't go back to it and rewatch it, then it's really not that great. I mean, there's a sense of, like, would you want to rewatch it? And if it's good enough, I should want to rewatch it as many times as I want.
That makes sense. I think the one issue I have with that is that there are some works of art that aren't really meant to be enjoyed that kind of way. And I mean like stuff that's a bit more, that is very meaningful and artistic, but also kind of depressing and not something you'd watch a whole lot. Like, who's dying to watch Lane again? I mean...
I didn't really like Lane.
A good example of that for me is Grave of the Fireflies. That is the best movie I'm never going to watch again.
Oh.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Well,
So
movie,
there is stuff like that. Like there's high quality stuff where it's like it's just not meant to be watched
Yeah, no.
all that much.
No. I'm saying what would make my favorites. I'd always want to
Right.
watch over and over again.
Right.
Like I watched Technolize a few months ago, and I don't want to watch that in another few years.
Yeah.
that's, though to be honest, Technolize is easily, much like Yuri Kuma is for Ikuhara, Technolize is easily Yoshitoshi Abe's weakest work.
Really? I heard Mia under 7 is like his worst thing.
Yeah, I heard that too, actually.
Yeah, I haven't personally seen Nia Under 7, but I've seen Technolize, and it was kind of weak in comparison to.
Really, I'd call Lane his Yuri Kuma actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
Honestly, my favorite work from his is Haibane Renmei.
Same.
I've been meaning to check out Haibane and Renmei. I've heard nothing but praise about that.
Yeah.
My
that's...
favorite thing about this conversation is that we're using Yuri Kuma as an insult.
And I've never even seen that show.
With Haibane Renmei, I loved it simply because of how good it did with atmosphere. It has.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Oh my
presentation
goodness.
is very important.
Yes, atmosphere.
That is some
That's
of the
one of my favorite things. Atmosphere.
That is some of the best atmosphere and presentation I have seen in an anime ever. Like,
Well, that's the thing is
watch-
that atmosphere and presentation can easily make up. Well, not always, but can easily make up for any production issues. You know.
Oh yeah, but Haibane Renmei is one of those shows where it's like you could watch that thing on mute. It is so good.
Yeah.
Another thing.
Yeah.
A show doesn't need to be original. It just needs to do something good with what it has. Like recently I was watching Wicross, and I quite enjoy that.
Yeah, Wecross is great.
Yeah, but people always compare it to Madoka, but it's able to do something new with it, so I don't see anything wrong with it being similar.
That's
What?
kind of what?
Madoka fan here real fast. I don't see how people compared that show to Madoka. It was really more of a card. It's really more of a card thing. Really,
It's more of a thematic thing, I think.
Yeah.
You take something relative. You take a bunch of girls and something that's relatively innocuous and make it darker and grittier than it usually is.
Oh,
I
you
think-
mean like that one anime that is currently airing that everybody seems to be going crazy for?
Me,
I
School
don't even
Life.
know. I actually don't know.
Gakugarashi.
Oh right, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Taco
Sorry,
Cast.
but-
Although I don't think
we.
Wecross ever got the amount of attention that Gakugarashi is getting now.
Oh my god. First episode of School Life, I knew the twist and it still floored me.
Yeah, I did too. I wish I didn't, but I did.
I didn't know anything about it, honestly. I knew it was a zombie slice of life, and that was all I knew about it. That was it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and in the realm of anime, that can mean many different things.
And I don't mean high school.
No, we're talking zombie, like franchise zombie sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
that's the thing.
Like Hidamari Sketch.
Yeah.
I
Miyako
don't
the
like that
best.
I think
don't
people
like-
mock high school that had too much for its fan service and not enough for its conservative values. That was always my problem with it. Because zombie apocalypses are supposed to be a libertarian fantasy, and he turned it into some Japanese right-wing deal.
How can you do that?
I actually thought I actually do like High School of the Dead to a degree, partially because of the whole so bad it's good thing, but I also think it does a decent job with horror.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the so good it's bad thing is amplified if you watch the Foster dub, and it's Palin jokes.
Oh,
who,
God.
who does this woman think she is? Sarah freaking Palin?
We don't care if our jokes are dated. That's the Foster way.
They plays bubble pop on his phone.
But anyway.
I actually remember the review of I think it was a crossover between Jesu Otaku and Bennett the Sage.
Oh, you talking about Master of Martial Arts?
No, he did another crossover where he showed her High School of the Dead, and that was one of her big problems with the English version, the terrible Fosterisms.
Oh, of course, it's Stephen Foster. Everyone seems to have an issue with him.
Yeah.
Unless if he's doing comedy, then he's all right.
Fosters have terrible dubs.
I didn't hate his Angel Beats work.
Yeah, I didn't really mind it either when I think about it.
I just don't think there was enough room for him to fuck up, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I just hated how he pronounced. Some of the names kind of got to me, like the whole Naoi thing.
Oh
oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
That was terrible and clunky.
Oh, it's like that. It's like that thing everyone bitches about, the Clanhead dub, Nagisa.
Nagisa!
Yeah,
Tomoya! Katomi!
That's my favorite. That's my favorite
Sine!
Arcana. That's my favorite Arcana rant. You're putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable. It's driving me crazy.
I love that. That was fantastic.
Yep.
All right.
I love it.
Have you
Okay,
all pretty much said what to say? Or
Well, do you want me to list like my favorites and stuff?
Well, no, you don't have to. It's fine.
Because
I think-
I'll list off my top 10 right now.
Yeah, go ahead if you want.
Alright. 10 is Welcome to the NHK.
Hmm.
oh yeah, classic.
Welcome to the Broadcasting Network.
Number 9 is Kaiji, both seasons.
I still need to
Oh, Pointy Chin Show.
Yeah, that show is awesome. Number 8 is Dot Hack Sign.
Mm.
Number 7 is Kaiba.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, real quick,
Number
Dot
6
Hack-
is
Dot
the
Hack is another show
Tatami
that
Galaxy.
Right.
Number 5 is the original Full Metal Alchemist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Number 4 is Ergo Proxy.
Uh-huh.
Number 3 is good old Cowboy Bebop.
Uh-huh.
Number 2 is Penguin Drum.
Mm.
And number 1's Wolf's Rain.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the show
my
I keep
God.
confusing with Watership Down.
You confuse fucking everything with Watership Down, you asshole.
I don't know what's wrong. Well, no, it's fairly consistently Wolf's Rain. It's just other things too.
Watership now.
Watership.
Like
I
I think what it is that they have like similar looking images on Hummingbird or something.
They do.
Yeah.
To be fair, both are tragedies.
Yeah. I'm gonna look up those images, and I think we're about ready for a break.
Okay, all right. Well, first off, I didn't go at all.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead then.
All right. Basically, mine is kind of a little, I guess, simplistic. Basically, what makes an anime good is characters you can really get into, really root for, and I really love anime that makes you really root for the characters, and they really make you feel empathy for the characters and all that stuff. And that's one of the reasons why Jun Maeda kind of resonates with me so much. I mean, yeah, sure, I wasn't really the hugest Clannad dude, as I kind of figured out recently. But I basically learned that, I learned at Angel Beats, if you can get an emotion out of me, or if you can make me shout at the TV or something like that, to me, I feel like you're doing a good job as far as character writing is concerned.
Here's my question to you though: is Angel Beats really the only Maeda work you've seen?
Oh, hell no. Actually, I've seen Air, I've seen Kanata.
Like I've always been confused by this because Jun Maeda's self-proclaimed magnum opus is the one thing people talk about the least.
And that's Little Busters?
Yeah, it's Little Busters.
Well,
I'm guessing because so many people didn't watch the anime because it wasn't done by KyoAni, so it's not worth watching.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah. And one day I will. I'm still waiting for that goddamn Memorial Edition patch.
Yeah, I want that too. Yeah, yeah. I know what
Come on, Doki subs. 2%. 2%.
Okay, guys. That's the reason why Jun Maeda resonates with me so much is because, like, Air and Kanon, those driven me to tears every time I watched it. Because they really knew, he just really knows how to get an emotion out of me. And I guess this is where people always say, like, oh, this is emotional manipulation.
Yeah, he knows how to manipulate you emotionally. Kind of like a writer of sorts.
Oh, everything's emotionally manipulative to some degree.
Yeah, even what I ordered at Burger King.
Why is that?
I don't get people who are like.
Guys, let me talk. Why the fuck is that even like a thing? Why? I thought like shows were supposed to make you feel something.
I think what it is I think they're not getting an emotional response out of it, and they know that the show wants them to, so they misread that as, oh, they're trying to manipulate me, when the real answer is, no, you're just a hard ass.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. The latest Charlotte didn't make me cry when I figured out what happened, but like but it did make me feel bad, but it didn't drive me to tears as I thought it was going to.
Well, is Charlotte Maeda's Yuri Kuma?
No.
Charlotte's pretty
Well,
good.
I mean, it's not
No,
finished
because I'm
yet,
watching
but-
it so far, and it's a disaster, if you ask me.
Oh, really?
Yes, that last episode had a lot of logic problems.
What
Yeah.
were we talking about again?
Charlotte.
Oh, that.
Oh,
But
I'm not watching it. I'm sorry.
then let's not talk about it.
And I really love anime that, and plus I've always loved, dark anime, and that was one of the reasons why I got into Madoka, just because of how I think really good the writing was on that show.
Yeah.
And also, like, how well it executed its work and all that stuff, and its story, and it just had characters that you could really fall in love with and all that stuff, and characters that you cry when you see them die and all that stuff. And
God
I
damn it,
guess
Santa.
like I just don't know. I always thought like the mark of good writing is like when you can get when it makes you give a shit about what's going on in the show, book, movie, whatever.
Well,
But-
I've always said, like, go ahead.
I don't really have a top 5 because it changes every 5 minutes, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to hear me talk about how I think Monica is the best of the decade again. So if you listen to Otaku Midnight anyway.
Yeah. And I've always said that it's always meaningful if a show can either make you feel or make you think, and usually it does one or the other. It can do both.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's kind of like romanticist writing, which is what Jun Maeda does, and more like enlightenment writing, which is what Romeo Tanaka does, or someone like him. But like something like that is what makes it meaningful for me. I mean, you don't necessarily have to. I mean, things can be good if they're just cheap entertainment, but I think the things that really resonate with people are the things that make them feel, or the things that make them think, and the things that stick with them.
Yeah, that's stuff like Madoka and stuff like and it's just a couple of it, and stuff like Madoka, stuff like Air, Kanon, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
not you want to pronounce it as. And a bunch of other anime that I can't really think of right now. Or anime that really makes you feel for the characters that, or you can relate, like Watsumoto, for instance. I mean, I know you didn't care for that show, Zeke, and all that stuff. That's what
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, with Clannad, probably the only reason I love it so much is because it came at a time in my life where I was having a lot of trouble, like a lot of bad depression, and it actually did help me through it. So
I can understand that. Yeah, I've had that with quite a few anime.
It has strong sentimental value to me. So
Yeah.
That's okay, and that's perfectly okay, and I won't bash.
Yeah. I think sometimes that can be a weakness in itself, though. I think that can affect your perception of things sometimes. where you have to look back sometimes and be like, is this really as effective as I think it is, or is it just because it came at a certain time in my life?
Well, here's another thing. I still look back in Clannad, and I still think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I still love the characters. I still love the storylines. I still love all of the different tearjerkers that there are. The one tearjerker that never got me, that everyone was like, oh, this is so sad, is Kotomi. Because I'm just like, that just kind of fell flat for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so. Things that feel different or things that are memorable, I think, are just important. Like, well, I've always said that I think Madoka's probably like, it's in the top 3 for the decade for me. I've always said the best show of the decade thus far for me has always been Shinsekai Iori, though, because it's just so different.
Wait, not Hunter x Hunter?
No, that's a personal thing. I'm talking about just in terms of pure criticalness.
Man, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I missed what you said.
Yeah, like,
I'm being a dick.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew that much.
Like, personally, I know Hunter x Hunter has a lot of issues, but I just think the stuff that it does well, it just does so incredibly well that it totally overshadows all of its problems.
And I think its problems are usually intentional or things that have a point to them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, a lot of people are upset. It's like, Heaven's Gate didn't have any sort of conclusion. Well, it wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter ends in lots of... Hunter x Hunter has like this weird commitment to pseudo-realism where it ends with a lot of anticlimaxes.
Yeah, like, the big thing with Heaven's Arena is that was specifically so that Gon and Killua could lure men, as well as tie up the whole Hisoka subplot from the Hunter.
It's usually it's not always about what they say they want to do or what they want to accomplish. It's usually about what they end up accomplishing anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason.
It's just like life. Like your goals change, and sometimes you're just like, this isn't working out. Fuck this.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why. So it's part of the reason why I actually really do like the Chimera Ant arc. A lot of people are like, it started off so small. Why did it have to overshadow the plot? And I'm like, well, that's just what happens in real life. Small. Yeah,
that's what happens when mutant ants invade a country with no cell phones.
Duh.
Rolls out of control. But
yeah.
Yeah. It's like chapter 139 or whatever, where it's like life is full of distractions.
Yeah.
That whole spiel.
Yeah.
Which is basically his entire career making the thing is life's full of distractions because it's taken you too long to make it.
Hiatus.
Yeah. I love it. It's a series that's been going for like 16 years and it only has about 7 years worth of material.
More like 6.
It's around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to seriously sit down and watch it one day. I seriously need to.
Yeah.
I at the very least have to give Madhouse credit that they found a spot where it had some level of closure.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the best place they could have ended it.
So it doesn't feel like, what's gonna happen next? It's like, if you're not gonna get any more Hunter anime, you're at least satisfied.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't leave you cold like Shenmue 2's ending.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Anyway, we're due for a break.
Anyway, yeah, let's take a break.
All right.
You're listening to the Baka Gaijin Show. We'll be back shortly.
Right.
Woo! Yeah, who's shuffling drawers around?
Okay.
No, I went to turn the light on.
How many viewers do we have?
2.
1.
Oh, there was 2 a second ago.
Oh, it says 1 now.
It's kind of been,
maybe if I reload.
No, it's kind of been going between 2 and 1. I think it was 3 at one point. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, I think most of the viewers are just going to come from when it starts, just like.
Oh, we have a comment though.
What's that?
Reckingista and G is too deep for you.
Who said that?
PK Starstorm Girl 25.
Oh, I've heard of her around.
I think I know who she is.
Yeah, that's Starstorm.
Star. I'll be right back.
What'd she say?
She said Reckingista G too deep for you.
Oh,
Hey,
go eat a thingy.
Go eat a very lovely dinner and enjoy your evening.
Hold on, I need to use the restroom.
Yeah. I'll be right back as well.
Commercial break. Alright, break time. So far, we actually have one comment. We actually have my friends actually in the live stream. They're commenting on what Hey. I said, hey. Ah!
I'm back.
Hey.
The picture of Nasu on Google is a picture of the nostalgia critic holding up a what sign?
Holding up a what?
Holding up a what sign?
The what sign?
What?
Okay. Are we back on yet, or what? Okay.
Standing by. I need to get more ice water. Because I'm fucking overheating in that frickin' room of mine.
Wanker man. Wanker man.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I was just looking at the group chat. It's like saying Wanker man, and of course your sister have.
Wanker Man. Is that the porn parody of Anchorman?
I guess. What I mean by
I'm in a
Wanker man, I
glass
guess that
case
was
of
the guy-
semen.
I guess that
I'm in a
was
glass.
Commando that came in earlier. It had the Def Gun voice.
Oh yeah, him, Wanker. How dare you boot me from chat? Oh, that was the greatest.
What did give it to your brains? Def Gun.
Don't let him know. Oh, that was fantastic, though. I take it things are never dull in a Zeke hangout.
Oh, what? What? I'm looking at the picture and I'm just like, what?
You know,
I guess it's the ANN crowd. I guess it's the ANN crowd's fault right here.
Yeah, I was.
Because you
I
remember
was
when
trying
Gavin Maddock kind of started that whole like Spade Stay Night beat them and all that stuff?
Yeah.
That was fucking annoying.
Tell me about it. Anyway, I was trying to make a joke about the whole wanker man thing.
Oh, go on.
It's It's like, is that the porn parody of Anchorman? I'm trapped in a glass cage
Yeah,
of
the porn parody of
erections. Yes, Catherine. Dicks. We're not even live at the moment.
Don't care.
We're on break.
Don't care.
Well, technically we still are.
Oh, well, technically, but we're all muted, aren't we? This is fun.
Yes, I actually have a cat named.
Yeah. You know, it's a good thing that I got one of the higher bitrate internet deals over here from like Time Warner Cable. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah, I need to up my broadband over here too to like 50 megs up and 5 down.
Yeah. My internet over here is like the second highest that Time Warner Cable has. It's pretty good. In fact, I actually ended up getting a deal that was like, we actually have 2 different Wi-Fi streams. The first stream
really?
the first stream is a regular like 25K stream or something, and the other one's a 5G stream.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like I got one of the better deals. It's like $70 a month, but it's worth it. It's like the one consistent bill that I pay aside from Crunchyroll.
Okay. Flat-Tune and Precure art by the author of My Hero Academia.
What?
I think you guys been watching that or reading that My Hero Academia.
I read a Dojin.
Oh, you read a Dojin of it? Okay.
Yeah, with the frog girl. It was actually pretty good. Surprisingly kinky though.
Hug the Kotori. Yes, I will hug the Kotori.
I'm gonna make a sandwich. Hold on.
Make me a sandwich.
Ha ha.
God, I'm going
How long did it take you to figure that joke out? You must have been holding on to that one for so long.
Yes, I have, actually.
Don't worry about me, I'm just a sarcastic little bitch.
I'm back with my sandwiches.
Bastard, I'm making one right now.
Yeah, he's making one for me.
No, I'm not.
Yes, he is. Well, it'd be impossible anyway.
No, man, we have preservatives, we have frozen trucks, it's fun.
Oh, the day when we can transport solid matter through the internet. That will
Hold
be
on,
fantastic.
I'll just 3D print you a sandwich.
It wouldn't be eatable, though.
Tastes like silicon.
No, they have there's 3D printers that do food.
For real?
Yeah. Yeah, I ever see those videos of 3D printed cookies and 3D printed pizza?
Yes, but does it taste like shit?
No, apparently it tastes good.
Hey.
By whose standard?
IGN's.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Too much water.
The question is, when can we download a car? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I would do that.
Download a car.
Yes, I would. Shut up.
At this point, who wouldn't download a car?
Mm-hmm.
Just for the sake of being completely contradictory to that entire fucking advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't download a car. Watch me, bitch.
You wouldn't download a butt. How'd it go?
Prove it, advertisement. You don't know me.
Oh,
Know
you
me.
don't
Know me.
bro.
Don't you know me?
You don't know me at all.
Okay, where are we going back on with the second segment?
When I finish these sandwiches,
Yeah, I'm almost done making mine. Don't worry about it.
I just put peanut butter and jelly, not jelly, just peanut butter sandwiches in the toaster.
Well, I'm having jelly, so ha.
I have jelly too, but I don't like strawberry on my peanut butter.
Bastard, I'm eating strawberry. You and I aren't friends anymore.
No, I love strawberry jelly, just not on peanut butter.
Strawberry jelly. Oh yes, it should.
I prefer grape on peanut butter.
Now that I can agree with you with.
See what I mean? People who are agreeable.
I still remember like when I got so much shit for saying I didn't like hair. Someone was pro Gamergate or not. That's a story for a different time.
Welcome to the Eating Sandwiches podcast. We talk about sandwiches all the time.
It me talking about personal bullshit.
Mhm. I'm Experiment 625. Welcome to Sandwich Cast.
Yeah, this is my own personal experiment I'm working on the side.
He's got a giant mouthful of bread crust.
These things happen.
This experiment's going pretty well actually.
Yeah. I remember when I was really little, I made a sandwich out of Blue's Clues applesauce.
Oh God.
That must have been interesting.
And then I learned a tragic lesson that some things don't go with bread.
I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Bet you had turbulent shits for a week.
No, it was fine. It just didn't taste good. Well, the applesauce part tasted fine, but it didn't go together. It's just soggy bread.
Don't talk with your mouth.
It's my show. I do what I want.
There's nothing wrong with this little
We should do an entire episode like this. And this is why I think Butch Hartman is the worst thing to happen to Western animation.
This is why Canada is the worst part.
Oh, you racist. You knock it off.
You mean xenophobe.
That's not very nice, don't you know?
You candidate. You Canadist.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a Canadist, even though I like Reba.
You know. Everybody has that one black guy they'd sleep with, you know. It's fine.
I was about to say that.
Welcome to the
Stealing my
Zeke.
jokes.
Welcome to the Zeke Steals Kevin's Jokes podcast. It'll happen a lot. I'm just quicker on the draw.
Oh, come on.
Mhm.
Sorry, that's quick drama draw.
Yeah.
So is this going to be bi-weekly or is this going to be weekly?
Depends. I don't know, Kevin. What do you want?
What?
I don't know, Kevin. What do you want?
What are you talking about?
He wants to know if it's going to be weekly or bi-weekly.
Probably bi-weekly.
I don't know. Like, there are some episodes, specials and whatnot, I'll probably do without Kevin. But as far as regular episodes, probably bi-weekly, I guess.
Like, I'll probably be in, like, nearly all the episodes. Like,
Yeah. I just mean if I ever do a special about something you have no idea about.
yeah, I'll probably.
Yeah, that's how I basically do it. You know, if you didn't care for it or different to it, didn't have a discussion. Yeah, that's kind of like how I would kind of do things.
Yeah.
There were Baka Gaijin Show topics that I was going to cover by myself. Now it's that it's a podcast. I got to like get people that know what they're talking about.
Or you could just do it, old school style.
I could. I was actually going to do a Baka Gaijin Show on Owl City, but then I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I know anyone else who listens to Owl City, so.
Yeah.
That would probably be one you would probably do. I listen to Owl City every day. I don't know enough about them to probably talk about them, but you know.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I know of Owl City is that they did that one How to Train Your Dragon song.
And they did a cover of Wave Rays.
Oh no, wait, sorry, not How to Train Your Dragon. I think it was
Wreck-It Ralph.
It was one of the fucking DreamWorks things.
Oh, you mean Wreck-It Ralph?
No, the movies he did songs for were The Croods, Guardians of Ga'Hoole, Wreck-It Ralph, and Smurfs 2.
Well, of course Owl City would do songs for a movie about owls.
Yeah. The music video even has him turning into an owl at the end. It's really weird.
It sounds weird.
It was like full-on Animorphs.
I'm sorry, you said Animorphs, I just remembered that picture of, this is the worst Animorphs book ever, and it's a woman falling down to the ground.
Is there nothing you can do to get closer to that mic?
This is as close as I can get.
I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just concerned about the audience.
They'll be able to hear me just fine.
Fine. In the MP3, I'll just boost you.
Nice.
Or hopefully I could do that thing where I can like equalize everything. That'd be nice.
What? Do you just have like a built-in laptop mic or something?
Tablet.
Oh, tablet.
Hey, as far as tablet mics go, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, you don't sound too bad. It's just that you sound a little distant at times.
I am literally directly next to the microphone. God damn it.
No, I mean that was fine. It's very clear. It's just not loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Why should they need to hear me? But no, I'll fix it in the MP3.
That's the reason why I do shit. This is the reason why I do shit on computers, not on tablets.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post.
Yeah, I remember the weird things like for Otaku Midnight it was all this Yeti, but for Podcast Zero I did some weird things to get on there.
What was that?
For Podcast Zero there were a few things. I used like a bunch of weird different microphones.
Yeah, you did. I remember that. And you, and then like for Otaku Midnight, it was basically the Blue Yeti, like all of it.
Yeah, there were some episodes of Podcast Zero I did on a cell phone.
Oh yeah, there was.
Yeah.
When? What was that? I don't remember that.
I don't remember which episode. I just know that I did.
Hell, I remember like I did like the Jokes Cast on like nothing but that cheap microphone that's in my room now.
Yeah, that was my laptop mic.
Speaking of cell phone, I actually do have one, and it is an Android cell phone. I can probably do the next episode on my cell phone, see if that's any better.
I don't know. Hangouts on cell phones are weird.
Yeah,
I've never known that app to be very stable.
Yeah, for consistency's sake, I'm just gonna stick with the tablet for the rest of today. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, I don't want people to. I don't want us to come back from break and everyone's like, "Wait, what the fuck?"
Wait, there were 4 people all along? MP, what did you add a link to here?
It was Nasu on Google. When you look up Nasu, you find a picture of the Nostalgia Critic holding up a wood sign as the main thing.
Oh.
Thanks, and Hate Brigade.
You're welcome.
ANN Hate Brigade? I'm not looking at the chat.
That's not what I called it, but okay.
Well, there was like some big Hate Brigade about Fate Stay Night back in 2014.
Oh, you meant the pro ANN Hate Brigade.
Yeah.
I thought you meant me. No,
Yeah,
the people from ANN that hate things, not the people who hate ANN for things. Speaking of which, I wonder if Gabby's review of Charlotte episode 7 is up. I bet she called it melodrama.
I would
Hello.
It's all melodrama. It was manipulating me. No, it was not, you dumb bitch.
She's not
No.
Zach. She's not Zach, but it's just a different breed of stupid.
You know that oh shoot, my bad.
Never mind.
Yeah, Naoto. She was a really good transgender character.
Now, oh, fuck that. I am so sick of that.
I don't care if a character's white, black, transgender, Asian, gay, or whatever. If your character's interesting, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, I agree with you. I know that sounds real terrible, yeah, I agree with you.
It's like it's like
I
if
don't
you're
care if you're gay. Make it interesting. That's all you gotta do. Make the character interesting. That's it.
If you're a critic and your first problem with a show is that it doesn't cater to your sexuality, you're not a terribly good critic.
Yeah. I mean, I know representation matters and all that stuff, but come on, man.
It has to come naturally. You can't. I'm just sick of people telling people what they can and can't create.
That's like me hating. That's like me hating a show because I'm straight and the characters are gay. That's
No,
dumb as shit.
it's one of those things where it's like they complain that you're not, that there's not enough whatever, and then when you try to write them, they're like, oh, you can't write them because you're not whatever. It's like,
Or you're being kind of gazy about it or pandering about it.
Like that one, oh my god, like that one little tweet thing that I found where where this one SJW was like, white people need to take responsibility and try to fix their actions, and this white guy responded with, well, I want to try to fix my actions, what can I do? And she responded with, well, you could stay in your lane, faggot.
What?
I know!
Did she actually stay in your lane, faggot?
Well, she said stay in your lane, but not faggot. But it basically.
Okay. I was about to say, because if you say faggot, if you're quote unquote SJW, yeah, you're fucking stupid.
It's just.
okay, apparently Gabby was okay with it, whatever.
Okay.
I wasn't okay with it.
Whatever, she wasn't stupid today. Wait till tomorrow, maybe.
Stop clock is right twice a day. Anyway.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, it's about time we get back. Our next topic is demographics.
Excellent.
Let's go!
Okay, one moment, let me just cough off screen.
Let's go!
Let's see that melody.
Sure was
Mario!
nice of the princess to
Mario,
make
I'm on a
picnic.
podcast, Mario!
Okay, guys, hold up. I gotta pee real quick.
Alright.
Alright.
Sure was nice of the princess to throw us a picnic, eh, Luigi?
Hey, Mario! Mario, I'm on a podcast, Mario! Luigi, nobody watches your fucking podcast.
It's a stone, Luigi.
You're too big. We doesn't know shit about. I don't know.
I made my own YouTube poop once.
Cause YouTube is where the poop is. No.
That's
Where there's
Mama
smoke,
Luigi to
they
you,
pinch
Mario.
back. Luigi?
You know what they say, all toasters toast.
My boy, it's time for dinner.
My boy, it's time to podcast.
Scrub, scrub, scrub all the floors in Hyrule.
My boy.
Yes, the classic scrub, 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 YouTube poop.
Anyway, we're gonna start the next topic now.
Alright, go.
In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Baka Gaijin Show. Our next topic is demographics, and it was spurred off from a conversation Kyuubeythe3rd and I had earlier today.
Yeah, it was kind of fun we had.
You say conversation, I say fight.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun one.
It was-
Because he said stuff in the wrong, because he kind of took it the wrong way. But go on.
Did I now? Let's give the audience some context.
Okay, alright. Okay, let me just say my thing. It was basically from me talking about a comic got killed and all that stuff last night. No, it was today. I guess it's not technically last night, but okay.
And to be fair, when I made this series of tweets, I wasn't thinking of you specifically. It was just everybody.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that was like I said, that was probably just me, like just waking up, because I think I wasn't awake for like more than an hour when I saw those tweets. Anyway, basically I said something like I would have liked a Kami Got Killed a lot more if I was 14. And he took it as me insulting the audience, when really in reality I wasn't. And to be honest, that is something I would have found like the coolest thing if I was 14, because I used to, when I was around that age, I used to watch shit like Fist of the North Star.
Okay, fuck you. I love Fist of the North Star. I'm 21 and I fucking love that shit.
You were shocked.
What I took a problem with it, and whenever anyone says something like this, is that it always comes across as, and maybe you didn't mean this, but there are people who do mean this. It always comes across to me as like, yeah, I would love this show too if I was dumb and immature.
Yeah,
because that's kind of what you're saying, even if you're not really saying that.
I think he meant it more in the...
This is more like in myself, I've always kind of put it in the context, because, back then I used to be the biggest shonen kid on the block, but then I or being a Sojo kid in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really mean it as like me being condescending to the audience, and I'm sorry it came off that way, but it was like...
I'm not... What is going on? Who's moving a toilet? Anyway, it wasn't necessarily you. It's just a line that I hear so often, and it's become such a popular thing to insult something by saying it's like for 14-year-old boys.
Yeah, or like for 12-year-old horny boys.
Yeah, and it always irritates me, because it makes two assumptions. It assumes that something made for the audience does not have any worth, and it assumes that something like that can only be made for that audience, or only be enjoyed by that audience.
Though to be fair, Akame ga Kill was made for a 14 and up audience, so...
Yeah, we'll get into that, but no, I know who things are made for, but the insinuation that you have to be that to enjoy these things.
I think
you specifically would have to be that to enjoy those things, not you plural.
Yeah, I think
exactly.
I think in most cases it's... I don't think this is what a lot of people intend it as, and if they do, they're assholes. But I think a lot of people, particularly Kyuubey over there, generally seem to intend that phrase to mean it's something that I would probably be into at that age because I was into that sort of stuff, but my tastes have changed over time, and I'm not into that anymore.
And to me, it's like if you still like stuff like a Kami Got Kill. I mean, personally, and here's the thing, and for the record, I don't hate a Kami Got Kill. I just didn't think it was something I was going to be all gung-ho.
Yeah. I mean, like, I like it fine, but again, what I said, my problem wasn't with the show so much as the perception of the show's audience.
Yeah, here's the thing. When people say, like, oh, this is made for 14-year-old weeaboo, it's like, and here's the thing. I was also going to bring up stuff, and you said this in one of your early Baka Gaijin shows, where you said like about Sword Art Online. Like it was in your episode because I was just watching this earlier in preparation for this. You said, and I remember the time code too. It was like at time code 5 minutes in. You said about the Sword Art Online's audience, and I know you weren't really saying about specifically like you're either, and I quote, you're either a 12-year-old weeaboo or you're either or you're someone that really, really hates Sword Art Online because they hate it so mimetic. I know, and I know you're understanding that you're not really like talking about the audience, but it sounded like you were kind of like taking a little jab at the audience because I always seen the term weeaboo as kind of like as a very disparaging.
If I recall correctly, and that was like a year ago, but if I recall correctly, what I was saying was when I hear people talk about Sword Art Online, I only ever hear the hyper-enthusiastic 12-year-olds who love it and everyone else who hates it. I think that's what I was saying, is that I only ever seem to hear those two opinions.
Okay,
which
fair.
is
Fair.
Which is significantly different from saying only 12-year-olds like this crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here's my thing, and like I said before, that was not my intention to say that at all. Not my intention.
Yeah. Yeah, and I get that, but it's sometimes hard for me to distinguish because it's one of those things that is really open to interpretation and how well you know the person saying it, because you can say that same exact line, and it can either mean something innocuous or it can mean something incredibly condescending.
Yeah, and that wasn't, and I thought it was just because since you know me and all that stuff, I was thinking it was going to be innocuous and not me just stepping into a landmine.
I don't know. Maybe I was in a sour mood. But anyway, that got me thinking about demographics. And first of all, let me say something about demographics. I don't like them. I feel like they're creatively stifling, and I feel like they make way too many presumptions about who can like what.
Yeah, I can agree with that wholeheartedly.
Probably the one thing I hate most is that people seem to think that just because you're targeting a specific demographic, like girls ages 5 to 8, that you're only allowed to do so much with so many different types of genres or characters or whatever, because they won't understand anything else.
Or their parents might get angry.
It's bullshit. It belittles the audience.
Yeah. Now, and I realize that as a writer, like it's important to. They always say it's important to keep your audience in mind, but I think people need to widen their perspective of what their audience could be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think the way people are trained to think about that is a bit too narrow, and I think that limits the kinds of things that people are allowed to create, not necessarily in general, but like at a certain level. Like you can write whatever you want. I know I do, but as far as making it big and being successful, it seems like these kinds of demographics really shoehorn the kind of content you can make. Like with what Neon Taster was just complaining about YA fiction.
Young adult fiction, yeah.
Yeah, he was complaining about the derivativeness of young adult fiction.
Divergent, Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Hunger Games, and Maze Runner, which I actually like the movie too. I never read the book, but.
Yeah, I remember my brother and sister are huge into Percy Jackson.
Oh yeah, I remember Percy Jackson.
Yeah, and they both hate the films.
Yeah, my cousin likes Percy Jackson. She thinks the movies are not very
good.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always something like that, and there's always standouts, I guess, but it's sort of that same kind of thing, like especially in the publishing world where people aren't reading as much anymore, so you have to be very specific with what you write. That could be a whole other episode, actually.
Yeah, but still, we should probably keep that one in mind. But it's still something I don't like in that not only are you limiting... My big problem with demographics is that when you try to write for a demographic or when you're forced to write for a demographic, a lot of times you're left... a lot of times you're put on a track of not only do you have to do this specific type of genre, but you also have to do this with the characters in this specific way, or else they won't understand it.
Yeah.
A recent example, particularly in anime that I can think of, is 2 of the previous seasons of Pretty Cure, specifically Doki Doki and Happiness Charge. They were helmed by, I forget his name, Shibata, I think? I'm probably getting his name wrong.
Yeah.
It's probably
I'm not
somebody
looking it
else.
up, so just
Yeah,
take your
it's
best
probably
guess.
Yeah, it's probably somebody else, but he was executive producer for these 2 seasons after he took over. He took over after Smile Pretty Cure, which was the first series that I saw during
Yeah, I need to get him to
broadcasts.
smile pretty here.
Yeah, but that's for a different subject. And a lot of people seem to have the same problem of he has good ideas for the seasons, but very lackluster execution, stemming from the fact that he's working with like these characters can't argue. Because girls don't take arguing very well. They think arguing is mean and it's hateful and it's not fun and
That's kinda shitty.
Have you
Yeah.
ever
It
met a
actually-
girl before?
it's actually part of the reason why I love Sweet Pretty Cure, because Hibiki and I believe Kaede, anyway, the main 2 characters of that show, they bitched at each other like crazy only because they were finding their growing pains. They were figuring out who they were, how they were going to get along, and they didn't get along in the first place very much. I think the only reason they got together in the first place was because my friend, one of my friends actually described Sweet Pretty Cure's entire theme of being harmony, and the entire overarching story, which involved the main 2 characters bickering at each other, was them finding their harmony. And
Right.
in that way, I really enjoyed that because it showed great character development there, because they were able to develop the characters in a realistic manner.
Yeah.
Admittedly,
Conflict can breed a lot more engagement than just simply getting along all the time.
Yeah,
yeah.
but sometimes
And
too
that
much
was-
could ruin it, like Shirobako looking at you.
but yeah,
Yeah. It's like that Family Guy spoof movie, the movie with no conflict in it.
But yeah, my main problem is that in Happiness Charge, that actually ended up harming one of the characters. There was a character in the series, Iona, who was Cure Fortune, who constantly berated and hated the secondary lead, Hime, or Cure Princess. I'm just going to call them Fortune and Princess for simplicity's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Fortune constantly berated Princess for unleashing these evils, and I lost my family because of you, and you're a terrible person because of it. But we, the viewers, understood that Hime did that completely on accident. She did not know what she was doing. Not sure, Fortune lost her family, but Hime lost her family as well as her entire kingdom. So her entire kingdom fell due to her misunderstanding and problems, and now it's going over into a completely different realm, Earth. Like, the problems that took over kingdom are now going over into Japan, so she has to deal with her problems on multiple levels, and I think every single viewer just looked at Iona and said, "What the fuck is wrong with you, you prissy little bitch?" And we just wanted Hime to just kind of tear into her like, "I'm not the one." It's like, you think you're the one who should be crying? I'm the one who should be crying because I have these problems which are far bigger than yours. And you're like, "Oh, boo-hoo, I lost my family. I lost my family, my entire kingdom, and now an entire different dimension is paying for my mistakes." Like, we wanted there to be some sort of Hime we wanted something like Princess telling Fortune off or something, because Fortune was treating Princess like a goddamn pariah, and the way that they solved it was that with no conflict at all. One episode, Fortune was being a bitch, was trying to infiltrate her way into the team, saying, "Hey, you guys should not be with her anymore, and you should team up with me." And then the next episode, all of a sudden, she's sorry for Hime for what she did, and there was no development at all. It was, she acted one way the previous episode and acted another way the next. There was absolutely no conflict, and it destroyed her character because we still associate her with being this hateful, uncaring bitch that did not get her dues. And she just got away with all the terrible things that she did to Princess. And that was honestly the point where I stopped watching Happiness Charge, because if you can't handle something as simple as that, how are you properly? And I think the main reason they did that is because they didn't feel that the young girls who were the main target audience of Pretty Cure could handle that sort of conflict between leads that they were supposed to buy the toys of and be these big, humongous fans of and send in fan art and all that crap.
That was a long explanation to make it to that point.
It destroyed Fortune's character.
Yeah. That sounds, I mean, really, that direction, that actually sounds really, really shitty, and I don't really want to say sexist or anything like that, but it does sound very, very shitty on how it went down or why that was done that way.
It's not sexist so much as it is lazy.
Yeah, that. I didn't really want to use that word. That's the reason I was trying to stay away from that.
Yeah.
And it's like they're saying, like, oh, little girls can't handle conflict. That did sound a little there.
No, I mean, like, yeah, all sorts of things like that.
It's kind of the same thing that happened with America and all those direct-to-video Barbie movies.
Oh, God.
Yeah, those don't have any conflict in them.
Anything is just happiness and magic.
I don't think any of them have any dilemmas either.
Sorry, my whole explanation about that got long-winded, but I have a lot of venom for what happened in Happiness Charge. I do not like that season at all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Strong feelings.
Very.
Yeah. I guess there are times where I think that Japan is a bit looser with demographics in the West, and then there are times where I think they're a lot stricter with demographics. Sometimes it's hard for me to determine what view is right there.
Yeah, because I've always seen Japan as like very loose when it comes to that, because back in the 90s you could have like gore and tits and a freaking shonen show, people wouldn't care.
I think it's more. I think the thing is that it's more. I think they're a bit stricter in terms of finances and who they expect to buy a thing. I think they're a lot less strict in terms of the content you can put into it.
Let's go back to Pretty Cure, because when Smile Pretty Cure was airing, there was actually this internal paper that was actually leaked to the public, saying that Pretty Cure had two different demographics: the young girl 7 to 12 demographic and the older male 18 to 35 demographic, and that they were trying to cater to both.
It's always, I guess that's always a hard balance, though.
Yeah, but the way that they did it in Smile was that they amped up the moe elements, specifically with the character of Cure Peace, who was voiced by Hisako Kanemoto, aka Squid Girl.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's the whole reason why I wanted to check out Smile and Precure, was because of that reason. That Cure Piece and all that stuff being really cute.
She's easily my favorite character in that show for numerous reasons, but I'm not going to go into them. But let's try to stay on topic.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, every now and again you'll see something where its intended demographic is way different than its actual content, Like stuff like Dead Man Wonderland and Future Diary were in a shonen magazine.
Yeah, sometimes I'm kind of amazed at what they're able to get away with in Japan so far as certain demographics go. Like, One Piece is considered wholesome, family-friendly entertainment over there.
Yeah.
And it's intended exclusively for teens and young adults over here in America.
Yeah.
Because of how bloody it gets.
Yeah. Hunter x Hunter is the same way. That's supposedly family viewing in Japan.
Yeah,
Even though it was those same families that whined and got its time slot changed, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, got it changed to like an 11:30 p.m. time slot or something.
No, it was 2 in the morning on Wednesdays. Which for any other show would be a death slot for something that big.
But for Hunter x Hunter, it still thrived.
Yeah, I remember reaction videos at the time. I was like, oh my god, the budget's going to go to shit. They're not going to do the election arc. It's like, nope, they did everything, and it looked just as good as it used to. And
Hunter x Hunter looked really good. Like, even the worst episodes were still consistently on model and had good direction.
Yeah, like even the worst. You say that, but I can't even think of specifically bad episodes in that context.
I think there were like 1 or 2 early episodes of like Greed Island that had a couple of like it looked a little bit off if you were looking closely, but generally it did look good.
Well, what I always found interesting about how they did Green Island is that they used a lot of the same cinematography that the OVAs used. I mean, better obviously, but it's like almost in some cases almost frame for frame.
But I think the main reason why it worked better is because they had better music choices and they also had much better pacing.
Yeah.
As well as some fantastic voice work.
Yeah. Anyway, back to demographics.
Oh, fun fact: Megumi Han, the voice of Gon, does play Cure Princess in Happiness Charge Pretty Cure, the show I was bitching about. So, connection.
She voices girls too.
Yeah.
I've only ever heard her like 3 times, and they're all boys.
Yeah, she actually does voice girls. Hey.
Amazing.
Girls voicing girls? Oh my.
Man, Shakespeare is rolling in his grave.
Girls can't chase girls. Can't voice girls.
Anyway, anybody else have something to say on demographics? Because I'm done.
Unless if no one, I think I could probably drop in a few cents, I guess.
Go on.
Okay, basically my 2 cents on demographics is I understand why they exist, but they do, especially in America, they do tend to kind of limit what you can show or how far you can really go with certain plot elements and all that stuff. You can't have it be too sad. You can't have it be too serious. Or
do you remember that argument I used to make that when I was talking about Over the Garden Wall?
Uh-huh.
And I was saying that it was really good, but it felt almost constrained by what it was.
Yeah, it probably would have done a lot better on Adult Swim.
Well, I'm not saying that necessarily. I'm saying Western animation needs that middle ground.
Yeah, like where it can still be an adult thing, but still somehow appeal to kids. That kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what draws a lot of people to anime. Is that in many ways it is that middle ground because so much of it is aimed at teens, but it can have maturity levels that swing either way, or stay in the middle. You know.
And that's what for the most part. That's the reason why I kind of. Well, besides Adventure Time kind of going to shit, it was kind of like sometimes. It got sort of deballed in some areas, and I had this problem, especially with regular show and all that stuff, when they kind of cut out some of the adult humor and all that stuff, and it got really, and even censored like some jokes like from the early episodes, and that's what maybe
regular show got like less raunchy as it went on. It was weird.
Yeah, that's the problem, and that's what made me really. That's what gravitated me towards it.
Yeah, because it was weird and it was raunchy, and then they made it more mundane and less raunchy. I'm like, okay, now I'm just watching a bird and a raccoon.
Hey, does that mean that they turned it into a regular show?
Dude, maybe it was just one. Maybe it was just one giant practical joke on us.
Oh snap!
JG Quintal, you madman! What have you done?
But yeah, to be fair, early episodes of regular show did kind of feel like a show that got lost on its way to Adult Swim.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Yeah. I felt that way. Not to the same extent, but me and my brother felt that way about some of the later Billy and Mandy stuff too.
Well, like Billy and Mandy should have been on Adult Swim, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
No, not like that. But it almost felt like an Adult Swim show through a kid filter almost.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can get.
Yeah. Like, how many times did Billy get bludgeoned in that show? Like, Jesus Christ. That's like Ren's,
Billy got bludgeoned.
Like, Billy and Mandy got to, like, Red and Stimpy levels of sadism at times.
Yeah.
Like, that show got sadistic.
Yeah.
Like, not...
Yeah. I think Ed and Eddie got really sadistic, too.
Not in so many ways, but...
Yeah, like, in all the same ways, actually.
I think Billy and Mandy was just able to get away with a lot more physical violence.
Yeah.
There's a lot more physical, that kind of...
Yeah. What's that echoing sound?
Not me.
I have no idea.
Oh, that was weird, and I don't like it.
Echo!
But yeah, but I think my main issue with that is that there needs to be some kind of middle ground, because I think either way it gets restrained, and I think my biggest problem with Western animation is that everything has to be a fucking comedy.
Yeah,
That
everything
is
has
the
to
worst
be
thing to me.
Yeah, and everything has to be fucking kid-centric too. And if it's aimed for adults, it better be a fucking comedy, or you're a dead man.
It better be a fucking raunchy comedy full of sex and gore.
Yeah.
Like everything has to be a Family Guy copy.
Or South Park copy.
Family Guy, South Park, or Simpsons. It has to be one of those three. Like there is
I think
no
there are
middle ground.
weird oddballs around there, but they don't usually last as long, or they're so surreal that they start their own chain of spin-offs.
Yeah, like Oblongs and Mission Hill and all that stuff. Granted, they're all.
I think there were a lot of Adult Swim shows that tried to do what Aqua Teen Hunger Force did.
Yeah.
I think one of the big mold breakers from Adult Swim was probably Moral Oral, because
which I think itself. Go ahead, go on.
Moral Oral started off very comedy based, the typical Adult Swim stuff, very Robot Chicken, but it got into some very dark and dramatic content during its later seasons.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah. Because I think I remember watching some of it, and I just remember thinking not for me.
I never once watched Moral Oral.
Moral Oral wasn't my thing either, but I did watch it every now and then, and I watched it enough to know. I watched it enough to be able to realize that it's going places that other shows of its type wouldn't dare. It was one of the few mold breakers from Adult Swim.
Yeah.
And another show from that time, if it had been given the chance, would have gone in the same direction. I think another show that would have gone in the same direction would have been Titan Maximum, if it had the chance.
I barely remember that.
Yeah, and then remember after you brought it up.
Yeah,
it's
I'm gonna have to
one
look
of those shows. It's one of those too good to last shows. The main reason why it didn't go anywhere isn't because it had low ratings. It actually had very high ratings. It's just that the budget was too high for Seth Green to sustain it, and he decided to just go back to Robot Chicken.
So in other words, it was one of those brilliant but canceled kind of things.
Yeah.
That scenario sounds almost exactly like what happened to Invader Zim.
Yeah, it kind of was.
Yeah.
Except in a much.
Yeah, was it because it got too violent, or what was the reason why it got canceled?
Well, its ratings suffered a little. It was still good ratings, but they weren't getting the ratings from the demographic they were aiming for. And Zim also struggled a bit with its budget. It stayed within the budget, but it struggled with it.
Also, another problem with Invader Zim is that Jonan Vasquez kind of did the same thing that John Cristofalusi did with Ren and Stimpy. He would deliberately delay the episode
so that by the time it got to censors, they couldn't actually do much with it, and they had to broadcast it as is.
Right. I remember Jonan saying he didn't have so many fights with the executive so much as he had fights with his producer.
The director, actually.
Director.
The director wanted. I actually read up on this recently, so haha.
Me too. I did too because I was looking into a bunch of stuff because I just read the first comic issue that came out.
Yeah, the big thing was that the director wanted to really go all out with the visuals, but Jonan wanted the jokes to speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And he
which, depending on the scenario, I could go either way, but I guess I'd side with Jonan because he made it.
Yeah, same here, because I think the big draw with Jonan is that his writing speaks for itself, and while he does have this grotesque, most of the visual humor is simply due to how grotesque his art style is.
Yeah.
And you don't really need to do much with that in order to draw out any sort of physical reaction.
He is so brilliant. I wish he would do more things. I really do.
I know.
Yeah, like he's kickstarted this, not that kind of kickstarted. Just started the comic series.
Yeah.
He wrote the first issue. I think he's writing the second, but then he's only going to be like writing them occasionally, and he's only going to be supervising and whatnot. But I'm like, you could do so much more than that. I mean, you used to make comics. Did you?
I still have to question Nickelodeon's decision on giving the rights to a children's show to the creator of a comic series called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in retrospect, both one of the most brilliant things they've done and one of the weirdest things they've ever done.
It's like that was his most popular comic at the time, aside from Squeak. So. Yeah,
which Squeak's just a spin-off of Johnny. I've actually been collecting the issues of those. I don't like. Ironically, I have the issues, but I don't have the Bad Art Collection, the big bound edition.
Yeah, apparently, Jonan. It's like if you bring the Bad Art Collection up to Jonan and ask him to sign it, it's like, oh God, where did you get this thing?
Oh, really? Does he get like real?
Why did you buy this?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. But that was like, you know what is sad though is I actually think Invader Zim was so ahead of its time. It would do so much better today.
It would, because you have so many shows.
Legend of Korra going like, wow.
Yeah.
Legend of Korra got to some very mature areas. Like
Legend of Korra was not a kids show by the end of it.
No, it wasn't.
No. Once you got to season 3, like that was a show that was made for people who grew up with the, or were at least like middle schoolers when Last Airbender came out.
Like with Last Airbender, even when it got to its darkest, it still did it with an eye for, we are doing this for children. This is a family show. But with Korra, it was really for the people who grew up on the original Avatar, meaning that they could go to even darker places.
Yeah. I actually very recently just marathoned the Avatar comics that are out. Yeah. And I wouldn't say they're necessarily going full Korra, but they're progressing towards that where they're tackling issues that even in the show itself I don't think they would have done at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've gotten away with it.
Well, I don't know if it's not so much an issue of getting away with it so much as would it have hooked kids' interests back then?
Would it have worked within the context of the show that they were creating?
Yeah. Yeah, and like this is a lot more ramifications. This is a lot more. The comics are actually more character stuff and more political ramifications and stuff, which is all great, but I don't know if it would have translated to television at the time very well. But with Korra, it's like, political ramifications all the way.
Yeah, with Korra, they were able to do it because they had a clean slate.
Yeah.
It was so far into the future of the franchise that they actually had the ability to really go all out and do things that they would not have been able to do with reasonable intent with the original.
And that's people have conspiracy theories up the ass, but that's probably the reason Nickelodeon took it off air, is because they're like, this isn't for kids. This doesn't fit with the rest of our lineup. We can't sandwich an episode of Korra between 2 episodes of SpongeBob.
Yeah,
That
is kind of a whiplash when you think about it.
Yeah, like it just wasn't the same audience anymore, you know. And in the end, it's like it was finished and it still looked great. So what was really the problem? I think people were just upset that they took it off air on principle.
Or the whole Korra's coming thing.
It looked great, except for those episodes animated by Studio Pierrot. What the fuck happened there?
Those look different. I didn't think they looked bad.
Yeah, I think
it was noticeably different, though.
I think the big thing is that they wanted the... It's like they knew of Studio Pierrot for their great work on some other shows, and it's like, we want them to work for us now, but they didn't specify which animation team they wanted. So they ended up going with like the B team or the C team, and
I just remember the real difference was that the Pierrot stuff had like much bolder colors.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, like I watched the season 2 premiere. I was like, why is this so colorful? Like,
oh god,
like
it's too bright.
Yeah, it's not like Avatar usually has like a pastel-y watercolor kind of look to it. This was like, what the fuck? These are like solid colors. What's going on here?
Avatar generally looks very mystical and watered down, like not.
Yeah,
not,
it looks like a scroll.
Down,
it looks like a scroll painting, you know.
Earthy
like
colors.
Yeah, earthen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with the Pierrot stuff for Korra, it looked like a cartoon. If you want to put it it sounds stupid to put it that way, but that's how I'd put it. It's like, oh no, there's solid colors and thicker outlines.
What was something Studio Pierrot? What didn't Studio Pierrot do Naruto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You just came off of a show about a freaking orange jumpsuit ninja.
What are you talking about? Orange jumpsuits are super stealthy.
If you're hiding.
I can't think of many instances in Naruto where they ever had to use stealth anyway. So maybe he was onto something.
The orange is so stealthy. Yeah, if you're in a field of traffic cones.
Fucking traffic Jones. Traffic.
It seemed like he was always about to like go out and go hunting or something. Like, don't shoot him. He's wearing a bright orange jumpsuit.
Super stealthy.
Super duper stealthy.
It's kind
so anyway, I think that's all we have.
Like this one anime clip I saw. It's kind of like this one anime clip that I saw of this row of ninjas holding up tiny little tree branches. It's like, don't mind us, we are just bushes.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we've discussed demographics well enough, so I think we're going to wrap things up now.
Okay.
If anyone wants to plug,
if
anyone wants to plug anything, go ahead now.
If you want to hear more of my stupidity, me, Kevin, you can look me up on Twitter at @CCharmanderK. That's just the Pokemon Charmander with a C at the beginning and a K at the end. So yeah, if you want to, I also have a Tumblr at the same account. So
yeah,
if you want to hear more of my stupidity, go either on my Twitter or my Tumblr.
Yep. Anyone else?
All right.
Either or.
Oh, okay. Add me on Twitter at @MPCaratoro if you like my silence. And,
yeah, you are very silent.
And if
not as bad as Miskaros, but you know.
Oh, that's no Otaku Midnight. That goes back to Otaku Midnight.
Don't worry, you talked more than Miskaros did, and that counts for something.
And if you want to know what shows I don't like that are your favorites, check me out on Hummingbird with RogerSmith2004.
All right. For me, you can check out me, Kyuubeythe3rd. Right now, Otaku Midnight is still irregular until further notice, but I will be doing a podcast with also Kevin and Zeke coming soon. So they're also going to be regulars on my podcast as well. So it's going to be one big circle jerk, baby. So Check out. So if you wanna check me out, I'm on Twitter, Kyuubeythe3rd. It's spelled Kyuubethe3rd. And you can also check me out on Tumblr, and that is Cube3.tumblr.com. And of course, I'm also on heslostcontrol.net and all that stuff. I need to update the show page, like, because I've been meaning to update it for like about a year. And grumble, but
Yeah, I'm getting my own show page apparently at some point.
Yeah.
Once I have MP3s to give them. Right. If you want to know, yeah.
Motherfucking
Are you done?
iTunes, how does it work?
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Are you done, Kyubey?
yeah, I'm pretty much finished. Yeah, but yeah, Otaku Midnight's great, guys.
Yeah. And if you want to check out NTR Radio, I believe it's starting right about now, so get on that.
Fly, my
Anyway,
cookies, fly.
If you want to know more about me, Zeke Freak, you're already at the right place at my YouTube channel at Zeke Freak. Follow me on Twitter at Zeke Freak, Hummingbird at Zeke Freak, Fiction Press at Zeke Freak if you like the reading nonsense. This has been the Baka Gaijin Show, hosted by Zeke Freak in association with SLC Media. If you have any questions, topics, suggestions, comments, or angry rants, you can send them to bakagaijinshow@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Zeke Freak out.